this is the end of the show. We picked up the pieces and now we will face down the fall. Life finds a way. Live another day. So the astral brain can be disarrayed. Let the curtain fall on the games. This is the end of the show.
I'm not doing well, but I'm not yet insane. This isn't my end, I'm still playing the game. We're down and we're beaten, but we are not lost. I'll finish the story, whatever the cost.
Hello and welcome to Discord Murder Party, a fun game night with friends where nothing bad happens. I'm your host, Alex Beckham, and viewer beware, you're in for a scare. We have some delightfully chilling tales from Adric.
Say cheese and die.
There's a lot of anticipation on that.
How do I win?
Well, it's the anticipation that makes it really scary.
Wait.
What? Am I quiet? Am I really quiet? Why?
No,
What the fuck?
none of you
Nah,
should
I am
be.
Got
not.
the chat saying I am.
That's
Chat?
strange. Oh wait.
That's a liar.
Weird.
Okay, I've turned you guys up. We'll see if that. No, no,
That
well,
might
no,
do
no,
it,
no, 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 no,
Kristen.
no. Like you were low on the volume mixer, but I'm still like, you guys sounded very clear to
Oh.
me, so I'm really not sure like why. But you know what?
That's super weird.
I'm doing
Back
my
to the
best.
show.
How rude.
Guys,
Okay, great. Welcome to Discord Murder Party, where you're not supposed to be able to hear us, even though it's a really dramatic show.
shut up. I'm doing my best.
Ew, who did that?
I hate
Yeah.
that. Thanks.
Well, as you have heard, but you haven't heard the rest of us, we have Trawczynski.
Hi. I would just like to point out that my friend Steve is fucking real, and I'm tired of this joke. He's real, damn it!
He is
real in your
totally real, hon. He's
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would do it.
100%
Apparently,
real.
just the,
We believe.
yeah, the audio track for us is very low compared to you, apparently, in the audio mixer for whatever reason.
Oh, is it still low?
I will.
Is it still low? Is the question here?
I have cranked y'all as much as I can, so.
Okay.
We loud as hell. Actually,
All
can't say.
right. In the meantime, I'm gonna keep doing the intro as if nothing's wrong with Juno.
Guys, you gotta stay out of the basement. There's a strange man down there.
Hello.
All right. We've also got JoJo.
Piano lessons can be murder.
Oh, it comes with its own terrifying
Nice.
theme tune. We have Darby.
I live in your basement.
It's the thing in the basement.
It's him. It's a strange man.
Get the
Get
guy.
out,
hi,
there.
Darby.
No, get out while you still can.
Juno warned you to stay out of the basement, but here we
Oh,
are.
hi, Darby. Sorry for calling you a strange man.
He is a strange man.
We have
Yeah.
Upgraded Moon.
You better get ready to run, motherfucker. We are the bees. We are the bees.
The Doppler.
We have Queen.
Hop in, losers.
I can't have a show to do.
Well, you're
Right.
missing out.
We have Scott.
My cousin used to live inside a dummy too, and his cousin used to live inside a dummy too, and his cousin used to live inside a dummy too, but not his cousin. He wasn't a dummy.
We have Uprising.
Say cheese and die.
Hey, you didn't let her finish.
Again.
Excellent. We have great
And
fun tonight.
last but not least, we have Split Guardian.
I don't know. I don't know, guys. I don't know this.
Well, no.
I'll give you a hint. Florida.
Is that really? Is that just
There were no Goosebumps titles said the gun that kills people, so we went with Florida instead.
Facts.
Oh,
Embrace
you know,
live it, love it.
You know, that makes sense, I suppose.
Yep. Yeah. So, anyway, welcome to Discord Murder Party. We're on episode 51. If you want an explanation for the show, I want you to go on to youtube.com/c/internet remix. I want you to look for an earlier episode of Discord Murder Party, and I want you to click on that, and it'll happen within the first 10 to 15 minutes, because these intros go on very long, and we got a lot to get through today. Besides, episode 51, you probably already know. Donations, you can still give donations. Fill up that little bar at the bottom, and we will spin the wheel during game scenarios. The wheel makes interesting things happen sometimes. And then, last but not least, content warning. This show contains instances of psychological and bodily horror. I did not say may contain. I said contains. You have been warned. Contains instances of that kind of horror. Now, warning aside and all that being done, let us move on to the show.
Hey, Doc. Mind if I sit down?
Well, why? So that you can have a friendly chat with me about how amazing your best friend, the murder god, who stabbed you, by the way, since you obviously forgot, is, and how I should just stop complaining and do what you want.
Oh, no. I just want to say again how good it is to have you back. And that I might know a little bit how you feel.
Betrayed, and yet vindicated with the confirmation that the only people who've been sticking around for more than a few minutes all sided with the monster who used me as a stress ball for eons.
Hey, I don't think people are choosing sides, man. We're on your side, too.
Clearly not.
I mean, you're not wrong to feel the way you do. I can't imagine all you've gone through. Just know that I'm here for you. A lot of us are.
I apologize if I was unclear or otherwise obscure with my words. It was never my intention to mislead. Allow me to be as clear as I possibly can. Fuck off.
All right, man. I'll leave it at that. I'm glad you're back.
All right, that's a tag out. Here, you just got back. Have a drink.
Done.
Ah, great. What a fucking waste all over the floor. You must be thirsty then. Here, have another.
Done with that
I
one.
see.
Oh, and here comes another. How many of those do you have, you headstrong inebriate?
As many as I need, my friend. If you want to play this game, I'm happy to play. It's been a while since we have. Eventually, you're going to get tired enough to listen to what I gotta say.
And you're willing to wager that eventually will happen before our annihilation?
Obviously, but we both know I will find a way to keep it up even beyond. So, you want to actually take a sip instead of wallowing, or are you just not satisfied yet?
Satisfaction was ripped away from me the minute I was dragged back in here. Any sip of this might make me start going insane, like the rest of you, and thinking about flocking to the side of an insane god who wants to control all of fate. Bring on the bottles, Mr. Reed. This floor shall be flooded.
I actually can't think of anything else worthy of drowning in. Gotta correct you on one thing, though, because you keep seeming to insist that we're on the murder god's side, which is factually incorrect.
Oh, did she swear that she wanted to help you again? This is what, the 5th time now?
No. More like she got godhood ripped out of her chest and left in a practically comatose state for the last 6 hours, as she just got readjusted to being human again. She's powerless, pathetic, and alone. She's on our side now, not the other way around.
Ah, so she's going through more theatrics than usual. No wonder all of you got fooled. It's all pretend. It always is. The instant she has a chance to get that power back, she would stab all of you in order to get it.
Alright, back on the track of not willing to see any other way than what you choose. I got ya.
Mr. Reed, I really don't think this is going anywhere. I'd be best to quit while you're ahead.
Yeah, he wants to keep his current view, but I'm not stopping.
Hey everyone! So I found Junior, told him we willed Doc and Steven back into existence, but while I was waiting on my cookies, he got lost again. Ah!
Oh, shoot.
Oh, I just got pizza grease out of my sweater, and now it's covered in whiskey.
Here, up you go. I got some paper towels since they were out of napkins.
Oh, thanks, Haley. Well, I managed to save the cookies at least.
All right, cookies!
Are they evil like the pretzels were?
No, they're just chocolate chip. They're warm, and the chocolate's all melty. Would anyone else like some?
Oh, why, thank you, Lottie. I would love a cookie, thank you.
Yeah, I'll second that. Thank you, Miss M.
Get your tainted cookies away from me, Hellspawn.
That's fair. Anyone else?
Gimme!
Might as well have some since they're here.
Yeah, cookies.
Thank you for the offer, but I do not want to get chocolate on my gloves. Alas, one of the downsides of these.
Can you not take off your gloves to eat a fresh cookie?
No, they wrap around my back. I would have to therefore strip to do so, and that is simply far too much for one cookie.
Jesus, I'm sorry for your loss. Grace? Cookie?
I'm too bitter for sweet things.
Never change, Grace Garden. Anyone else? Steven?
I don't feel hungry. In fact, I haven't felt hungry for a while since I've been here. I'm sorry, should I want a cookie?
Oh, we don't actually need to eat here.
Ever do anything for fun, Stevie?
Well, I used to enjoy acting, and then it ended very badly.
Oh, so that actually... Stephen, you can have my cookie.
I guess, yeah. Okay, so, well, first of all, I'll say outright, Steven, I got your backstory from a donation. I didn't write it myself, but it also makes sense that it was your actual backstory. The Void doesn't like straight falsehoods. Pushing the truth and putting myself in as the devil? Sure, but everything else checks out. Including the evil French monks taking you in and one of them being an ambitious bastard sorcerer.
Great! Thanks, Chair.
Sweet. You want to turn, Stephen?
Why? Kicking the chair would hurt. Why are you even doing that, Miss Wong?
Oh, it's Guy.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a whole thing. It's fine. Apparently he can't do anything but be a chair. Speaking of your backstory and, well, you, Steven, now that we have a moment, maybe, we should talk.
Okay.
So, CG is gonna destroy the Void with us in it.
You mentioned so to the grumpy old man.
Yes, and we are trying to avoid such a scenario. In order to prevent such an apocalypse from occurring, we must unite 12 souls. Given the amount of people we have right now, it would be extremely helpful if you felt so inclined as to help us prevent our demises.
Sounds reasonable so far.
Put simply, do you want to live or die?
Well, I mean, if I was given the choice of being alive or being dead, I would choose being alive.
Alright, cool. Well, considering we're well beyond whatever job you had, I'm gonna assume you mean that and go on from there.
Okay.
Don't get me wrong, Mr. Cutter. I do want to believe you, but with all due respect, you did stab Miss Sam, and, I mean, we all agreed not to do that, so...
Yes, I was told to do that, and I did it.
Okay, I think the issue here, Stephen, is that we're not really comfortable telling you what to do. We want you to make the choice yourself, so do you think you could, you know, tell yourself what to do, if that makes sense?
It does not.
Ugh.
Oh my god, alright, okay. Steven, are you doing anything for anyone anymore?
I am talking because you said we should.
Okay, cool. For now, you're with us. I'm gonna give you as many creative liberties as you'd like.
Okay.
Okay, I'm glad we're doing. I'm sorry, y'all are still pouring whiskey over there.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, all right. Cool. I guess this is still happening.
Alright, well, that's one more soul and a growing sea of whiskey, I guess. If you drown me in alcohol, I will not forgive either of you. Anyway, where do we go from here?
Well, regardless of what's happening, this place still runs on stories. So, what plot hooks do we have? What can we use?
Well, I mean, when I was writing, I usually tried to give like 3 episodes to a character arc and let the climax be the backstory. But we have Steven's backstory, and I do not have Doc's story. That is how we got here.
Working on it.
Oh, thank you for admitting it's all a ploy to hand over my story to the god of suffering. Nice to have honesty for a change, Mr. Reed.
Jesus Christ.
I can't do anything with your story. I'm a dumb, powerless half-god thing, nor would I want to do anything with it. But the guy who does have the power is gonna have to move things along somehow. So the question is, what else do we have, you know, aside from... I don't want to mess with Doc if he doesn't want to be messed with. I don't know about all of you, but I'd rather not deal with Frenchie not being a chair, so we can't have a backstory from him, and McMillicuddy is a speaker now. But who does that leave us with?
Oh! The narrator!
Right! If there's anything a god loves, it's talking about themselves. I would know. And he went off on about how the Black Star version of history is incorrect, so maybe we ask him for his version of events and we see what happens.
Watch me swoosh wide in. Swoops. Okay. Hey. Hi. Just stopping by for 2 quick announcements. Actually more like 2.5. 1. Build-A-Bear has whiskey dripping into it. The bears are sloshed.
Fuck.
2. I need pictures. Pictures of Spider-Man.
Why?
You know exactly why. 2.5. Is that a whiskey stain on your sweater? Oh my god, I can't believe you're a little mini wino now.
I just got back my sense of smell, and every whiff
wine.
of this is risking me going into unconsciousness.
You're still going.
Sorry, I'm a bit locked in a battle of attrition here.
Oh, hey, CG, while you're here, why don't you tell us about your OCs?
My what?
That is, here, meaning your original canon, quote-unquote. What makes the Chaos God, the Chaos God?
Oh, okay. Yeah, I know what OC means. It's just like, you know, having a bit of trouble trying to apply it to the current situation. See, everything that exists, technically speaking, with like a couple degrees of separation, is my OC.
Wait, does that make the Black Stars your OCs as well?
They told you they came first, huh?
Oh my god. Every pantheon thinks they're the ones that came first. Black Stars, they say they came first, but they also don't control every dimension anymore, or possibly ever, depending on who you ask. So, everybody says they're the Big Bang and everyone else is faking.
So says the OC.
Oh, so you're responsible for this whole mess that you hate? Weird. I thought you had better taste.
Oh, you know, I did say technically, and with a couple of degrees of separation 6 lines ago. Did you not scroll up to read that? Listen, all I'm saying is, things got out of hand. Which is how I like it. Except this particular bit of getting out of hand sucks. Actually, you know what? It's really complicated. So in the meantime, let's do something fun. I'll tell you after a scenario. Scenario 1. The Marvelous Museum of Multiversal Madness. There are more things in heaven than earth, Horatio, than are dreamt of in your philosophy. And here, in this museum, pieces of, and windows to, a handful of them. The bullet to the moon, the fall of Avalon, the neutron stars of NLX Prime all going out at the same time. Here for the view and observation. When they're not under lock and key, of course. Alleged lock and key, because who couldn't resist taking a peek? Well, I mean, the workers of the museum. Again, allegedly. After all, if anything went wacky on their watch, these people might lose their chance at Employee of the Century. And gunning for it, we have Vincent Reed.
That is me. I'm here doing the same intro I do every time because I've lost all form of creativity.
That is most unfortunate. I'm sure the Vaporwave can help with that. Anyway, we've also got Grace Garden.
Ah, yes, museums, the hot spots of crime. Love it.
I mean, mostly the crime's gonna be coming from you people, but anyway, Tommy Gwendolyn.
I am just unsure of how this place exists, but I just want to know everything about how this place exists.
I'm sure you do. Percy Blackwood.
I never actually had enough money to visit a museum, but I mean, this is not what I had in mind.
I mean, it's a multiversal madness museum. It's not like, you know, whatever museums are out in the middle of fucking nowhere, Arkansas. So, a little higher budget, just slightly.
Ah, gotcha.
We have Valencia Lynch.
I must say, this place is quite fascinating. I don't think I've ever been anywhere like this. With things like, with little boxes around them. Look at that.
Oh yeah, those are the safety boxes. We put them there so that, you know, things don't break out and cause a multiversal collapse.
So you don't just let them do that?
Yeah, that would be really bad for you guys, is the thing. So, hilarious as that would be, I'm assuming you don't want to collapse in on yourself 27 times.
No, I mean, I don't, but...
See, there you go. We got Thorn Blue.
I've been to a Ripeys Believe It museum before. It was wacky, but this is even more wacky.
Ripley's Believe It or Not, I get paid either way, asshole. Hugo Hernandez.
Oh, marvelous. Here we can see the secrets of the universe.
You know, not the character I would have expected, but I appreciate it. We got Haley Wong.
Hey, what's in this door? Oh my god! Don't go in that door.
Don't fucking open that again.
Never fucking open that door.
That door.
You don't want to know.
Human exhibit?
Never open that door.
Pull the fucking kid back. No, Thorn, you don't want it.
You do not want to see
don't
what's in
want
that
it.
door. You do not want to see it.
I fucking promise you.
I'm grabbing the door and I'm kicking it out into the fucking infinite expanse, alright? There it goes.
The door is lost. Anyway, we have Ezra Crane.
So if I click the X on this square, will that fuck everything up?
No, it'll just hide it from view. It'll pop up somewhere else.
Okay.
What is this
We've
one
also
say
got-
404?
Yeah. We've also got a wino.
Wow, So is your pantheon normally this vaporwave, or is this just a all god? To be fair, I'm not exactly the most experienced with other pantheons.
Look, my world does not have an equivalent of the 1980s, so no, there is not an 80s god that designed this museum.
Oh, that's disappointing.
Incredibly. And we have Steve! Huh. You know what? A resistance scenario with Steven and Doc seems hilariously unbalanced. Steven! I am making you... Oh, am I going to be the manager? No. The assistant manager? The assistant to the manager. Yay! And, Doc, I am flinging myself through the nearest portal and hoping it kills me. Well, there he goes.
Oh, bye, Doc.
Okay, but okay.
Not unless he is allergic to massages in the massage dimension.
Ooh. You know what? He doesn't really like to relax, so...
No, we're not going to the massage dimension. You all have to fucking work.
I want to go.
Okay.
So this is like an 80s themed thing, huh?
Vaguely, like, not necessarily. It's just Vaporwave fits the idea of madness and is a lot less busy on the eyes than MC Escher. It was, you know, designing backgrounds is hard, okay?
You know,
designing backgrounds is a hard and unappreciated art.
You know, if I were
tubular.
perhaps in charge of the graphic design for this place and I had to try to make an Escher image, you know, not be distracting when I put a bunch of different icons in front of it, I would probably also choose this instead. Not that
So
I
this
did
is-
that.
This is all like computer
Not
shit,
like
right?
I'll say that.
Vaguely. Look, it's a mess, is what I'm saying. It's a mess, and the multiverse is coming together. Technically, also mine is coming together.
I see.
As fascinating as this conversation is, and believe me, it really is, I want to know more about this. Something's coming up. Don't we usually have, like, reflections or something like that at this point in time?
Consider, Percy, The most likely reflections that would be part of my story would be other gods. And if literally any of the gods from my place showed up, it would derail everything and or kill you, but probably be much worse.
Ah.
I guess.
I mean, that's... Listen, you've had enough problems with a god and a half, and then the third god you all briefly encountered nearly blew all your heads up by proximity. Do you really want to deal with more gods? Like, think
About
about
to
it.
say, yeah.
I am honestly God.
As if.
Continue, Onsley God.
Okay, it's resistance time. I don't see resistance markers, so tell you what we're gonna do. We're just
I
gonna...
was supposed to put those up.
You sure were, but we're gonna use the assistant to the manager to represent the good employees, and the guy in the massage dimension to represent bad employees. I am a problem solver because I am a good manager.
You know, I
Doubt.
can't argue with that.
You really
That
can't,
is-
because that would make you a bad employee. Anyway, so,
Okay.
so first task, we're gonna need 3 people to, you know, go through the Microsoft 0.5 dimension. That's the, you know, the wing off to the right. Make sure nothing's breaking out of there, because if there is, there's gonna be purple monkeys that offer to be your desktop buddies, and no one wants those. I'm gonna roll a random die to see who the first person to nominate is, so that we can get on with it. And congratulations, Valencia! You get to nominate 3 people. Have fun.
Radical.
Okay, well, all right. Who of us knows how to use a computer? I know my way around computers.
Yeah, yeah,
I know how to use a computer.
I've played
yes,
the
for the
Game
most
Boy
part.
once.
I am
those, like,
from
giant brick
about
things,
100
right?
years before the majority of you.
I'm overwhelmed. Okay.
Thank God. It's not just me.
Okay. I know Ezra knows how to use a computer. I know Haley knows how to use a computer. And Tommy also knows.
I know. I
Tommy's
don't
good
even
at-
know what a
okay.
computer
At the
is.
same time, those people who know how to use a computer have the easiest method of sabotaging it because they know their way around it.
Oh my
So
God.
Or a person who
Oh
doesn't
my
know a
God.
single thing of what they're doing
Correct.
with a computer.
Okay,
Yes.
It would just
Hey!
mess it up.
Let me
I'm-
just. Yes?
I'm small. I could probably worm my way around.
Inside the computer?
Inside.
That's. I don't think kiddo. I don't.
Okay,
think
who
computers
wants
from
to
Windows
go?
2.5.
Me!
I'll go.
I'm
I'll
fine
go.
going.
Okay, that's 4 people right there.
Your funeral.
Valencia, it's up to you. So
Wait, isn't it supposed to be 3?
it's 3. So just choose from the 4 you were given. Like, I will say, you know, I will say, since this is technically a computer thing, as much as you can say people who use the computer might be better at sabotaging it, I would still. I just feel like if you don't know what you're doing in this place, you're more likely to either injure yourself or somebody else.
I hit like one box. I hit OK on one box that like said error, and it just kept popping up. I don't want to do anything
Yeah.
computer related.
Yes,
Did
no,
it
I'm
say
not
that
going.
there were hot singles in your area?
I'm not going to send
I'm
you.
sorry,
it.
what?
No, this is before. This is quite before dating sites. If it was the
Okay.
80s.
I feel like you guys are really getting hung up on this 80s thing and not
This is
on
just
the
okay.
big bang
Okay,
through the
I'm just
window
going
right
to.
there.
I'm going to send Thorn because you want to go so badly.
Thank you!
Yes, I hope you have fun, dear. Haley.
Okay.
And
Hello.
Tommy
Just go
knows.
ahead and
I'll
send
eat my
Ezra,
shorts.
Okay.
Sorry, all I got is 80s lingo for this one, guys. I've got, like, all I know about the 80s is E.T. and a lot of the slang words.
What happened to the
That is
museum
very
guide thing
unfortunate
you
because
were
there.
Well, I
that's
thought
very
it was an
unfortunate.
actual
There's more stuff in
museum.
the 80s in here, so.
Okay, well.
This was a museum.
I'm not going to eat your shorts.
Yeah. Okay, so,
just
for clarification,
I'm playing.
this is a museum. It's decorated to look like an early 90s, 80s computer so it doesn't break your feeble mortal minds.
Understandable.
Yep.
Oh, never
Alright.
mind.
So we got, anyway, we got 3 nominees. Assistant to the manager, would you mind? Oh, yes, I would like to see a show of hands with some ayes or nays as to whether these 3 people should go. Vincent?
Aye.
Grace?
I.
Tommy?
Aye.
Percy?
Aye.
Valencia?
Aye.
Thorin?
Aye.
Hugo?
I'm gonna say no, because everyone else is saying yes, and that's scary to me.
Okay.
What?
I love your honesty.
Ezra?
You know, I'll also say no. I just want to stand in solidarity with you
Huh?
tonight.
Right on, Ezra. Yeah.
You know, man, that's fair. Stick it to the man, am I
We
right?
just want to feel special, huh, boys?
I was born special.
I'm going to vote yes because I want us to just get moving, please. I would like to escape from this very uncomfortable thing and look at this Big Bang out the window.
And because Murder God actually appreciates my choices.
Also that, clearly.
I also appreciate your choices.
As I was going to say, the name card is having me call everyone's first name, and I am very sorry about that. But it also says to call you Wino, and I'm not sure I should do that.
I mean, I appreciate that. My name is Charlie.
Okay.
I said yes.
All right, we've got a bunch of yeses to 2 no's, which means we have our group. Have fun, everyone. Make your assistant to the manager proud.
Yes, sir.
Just want to say you're doing a great job.
Oh, thank you.
This is giving me such a headache. Christ. Vincent, I can trust your insight. On a scale of 1 to 10, how much does the current situation exceed that scale? Or am I blowing all this out of proportion?
Well, I wouldn't exactly say it exceeds the scale, but it's definitely not the best situation, no.
Okay, it's not just me. Fuck. Vincent, I don't know what to do. Him coming back, I was kind of expecting this, but still horribly underprepared for it. I'm at about a, let's say 9.5 on the scale, that kind of worry, you know?
Yeah, I get that. Sorry if it was jarring. I wasn't entirely sure if it was going to work. Honestly, just glad it did. That being said, we have in fact flooded the Build-A-Bear, so this particular bridge might take a bit to rebuild.
But we don't have a bit!
Yeah.
Actually, no! You're right. One step at a time. Focus. Do you have a lighter, by any chance?
Always. Didn't know you smoked.
I don't.
Huh. Starting anew?
Whew. This bloody notebook has caused more harm than good. Starting anew is an understatement.
I'll fucking drink to that.
Really? Right here?
Are you surprised?
Absolutely not. Let's go do this.
Yeah.
All right. There is still some debate as to what I was assured would be a very quick walk through the exhibit. Are they having some problems with the purple monkeys? I still need a final answer. It's very stressful being an assistant to the manager and not having any answers.
The sweet taste of liquor.
Okay, I believe they are coming back. Yes, I'm counting all of them. That is Tommy coming in, that's Thorin coming in, that's Haley coming in, that's a purple monkey, that's a purple monkey, and oh, damn it, the monkeys have escaped.
So it's one of those motherfuckers.
What did I bloody say?
What the heck am I looking at?
Purple monkeys.
I never want to see the color purple again!
Oh no!
What am I supposed to do?
sorry.
What am I supposed to do?
Sorry,
What-
kid.
Get it out of my head!
Okay, hang on. I'm gonna push. Is it okay if I just push these monkeys, like, through this window into the Big Bang? Like, would that be fine?
Yeah, let me help you out.
Don't do that, you idiot! That's going to make them there at the start of the universe and make them more powerful!
Wait, what? Okay, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that.
Listen.
Push one and just put it.
It's fine. We're all gonna be fine. We're just gonna do a job that maybe good employees can actually do, right? We've got some Blargian snaggle beasts in the live animal exhibit, and they need to be fed. So, Percy, you're in charge of nominating. We need 4 people. Can you do that?
I guess I can do that. Sure.
Cool beans.
Alright.
Alright, so none of the motherfuckers that just went. I don't trust any of
Yeah,
y'all.
no.
I don't want to go
Nope.
again.
I will volunteer myself because, you know, I have been practicing a bit. I consider myself a master of Windows Movie Maker at this point.
You, a master of Windows Movie Maker?
Yes, I can put a
Wow.
little.
Huh.
I can make a little movie, put all the transition, then put a little fin at the end.
All
you know,
due respect,
movie.
Garden, but the job is to feed some Blargy and Snagglebeast, and I don't know how Windows Movie Maker
Well, I can film it.
I'm good at animal stuff. I can go do that.
I can also help.
I will make a film about it.
Okay, Grace, as wonderful as that sounds, I'm gonna veto you.
Oh, you want to stop me?
Ooh.
Oh, I see. I
I'm-
fucking see, Vincent.
No, I mean, listen, sit down, enjoy your drink. I'm
Fine,
gonna.
you go make the fucking movie.
Oh, hang on.
Hey, take a
what
chill
reason?
pill. That was also 80s, by the way.
What did you just say to me?
It's a pill you take when you need to chill.
You want to fucking say it again?
Hey, Grace,
What does that phrase?
take a chill pill.
I'm going to drink this drink.
Yeah, you drink this. So Percy, what you thinking? I'll happily go. Charlie said she'd go.
Yeah, I like the idea of feeding some animals, and also, you know, it wouldn't be the first Eldritch I've fed, so, or not.
I'm okay
you
with
know,
feeding an
little
animal.
monster.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, I guess you know what? No, I trust Miss M. Like, I mean, yeah. Look, that should be fine. That should be fine. Let's see. You know what? Actually, oh god.
I think.
You know what? Actually, Hugo and Ezra, y'all thought that the last one wasn't gonna go so hot, and it didn't. So why don't we bring you folk as well?
Sure, yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, I did put my wheel forward a second ago, but yeah.
All right.
Who's all going?
So I have you two and Miss M. It's just 3 folks, right?
Actually, I think because I did volunteer, Hugo. I hope you don't
go ahead,
mind.
Vincent.
if I-
You're fine.
Like, I don't mean to intrude, but feeding some eldritch horrors with my nephew sounds fun. And I just want to have fun.
Go on, director.
I guess that certainly is one way to bond.
I think Hugo, looks like you might be busy with a different good employee thing, so we should probably choose
All right.
someone
Well,
else.
if we're not having
Yeah, I mean,
you
this is
go,
gonna be a
then
wasteoid.
let's see who else would work out then.
Well,
Well,
be either
Tommy
you or
also
Valencia.
seems unsure about things, so.
I mean, do you
I ain't
want
going
to pick
because
one
like
then,
that,
Mr.
those
Blanton?
monkeys.
Mr.
Tommy?
Blanton?
I wouldn't mind going. I did last time
That's right, you
want to
did.
send Ezra, but
You did
Valencia
last
said
time.
to go me.
Will give us more information at least.
That's true.
It-
Yeah. Yeah. Let's do. You know
Having
what?
a bit more insight wouldn't be too bad.
Yeah.
Go on, Tommy. You're all that in a bag of chips. Wait, that was
All
90s.
right.
My bad.
So
Let's hope
that's a
these
group of
aren't as
4 with
horrifying.
yeah. So that is a group of 4 with Vincent, Tommy, Ezra, and I'm sorry, the card says to call you the wino.
My name is Charlie, but okay.
I am aware.
Cool.
That's what the card says. I'm so sorry.
Then scratch out this card.
Hey, he's doing his best, okay? It's not his fault that he has cards that he has to read. It's his job.
Vincent, yay or nay?
Yay, and you're doing a very good job, Steven. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Grace.
Nay, you're doing a mediocre job.
Grace!
It's not
That is
very
very
nice.
hurtful, and I will remember that at the next performance review, Grace. Tommy.
Yay.
Percy.
Yeah, yay, that's fine.
Valencia.
Yay, I guess.
Thorin. Thorin.
Sure. Yeah. Yay.
The poor dear is just a little traumatized from the monkeys.
Yeah, it's purple. I mean, yes, monkey. Ah!
It's okay, sweetie.
Banana!
You're doing fine.
You
The
go.
monkeys will die soon.
Thorn, close your ears. Fucking A. There we go. Just getting them in where I can, guys. All right, you're good, Thorin.
All right, Haley.
All right, yay, yeah. Let's do that.
Ezra.
I say yay.
And well, you're the last person. I don't have to say it if you're the last person.
Yes, right. Yes, I definitely want to go feed the animals, so...
Excellent. That is 9 yays to 1 nay from Miss Garden. I will remember this. Have fun feeding the animals.
Okay, thanks!
Okay. Thank you very much. Buddy, you should really be nicer to him, you know.
Yeah, come on.
I just don't want... I just want to be called by my actual name.
Come on. No, it's fine. It's fine. Come on.
Let's go. He's trying his best. In the meantime, hey, Yuko, you need any help with that? What
Yeah,
you doing over there?
Yeah.
Whew. Well, the place, Bonzi buddies everywhere. Thorin's saying something about a banana. I think we gotta get that checked.
Yeah, right. This place is pretty nuts. Like a... What? It reminds me of that movie Lawnmower Man or something. I don't know. It's really weird.
Well, it looks like Ready Player One.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I've read some of that book. Anyway, how are you doing, Haley?
Okay, I'm gonna be real with you, Hugo. I know everything's been a real blur, and I've been trying to think of what to say, especially to you. Like, man, I'm gonna come straight with it. I missed you. I said it when you came back, but I'm still feeling things about it, you know?
Well, I missed you too, Haley. And yeah, I know, to be honest, I'm still feeling things too a little bit. I mean, apparently I wasn't really dead. I talked to Lottie about it, and she says that I was in a kind of, like, stasis until you guys brought me back. But still, I mean, you all thought, and I thought, that I was gonna die for good. It wasn't fair to anyone, and it still really hurt.
Yeah, when you left, I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where we were going, and I tried to cling on to any hope that we'd get out of here, that I'd be able to keep my promise to you and get back to Kate. But without you to talk to, it was kind of hard to find my own hope, you know?
I'm sorry, Haley. It must have been really hard.
How do you do it?
Do what?
How do you stay so bright and sunshiny?
Oh.
Even when Doc cusses you out, even when Chaos God says we're all gonna die in here, I'm not used to hoping. I've been trying to tell myself that the clouds will part and the fog will roll away. Hell, I tried telling Tommy that, but there's always some tiny little part of me nagging, telling me that I'm wrong. How do you have hope?
Honestly, you guys. You brought me back to life in a way that shouldn't have been possible. But you made it happen. I can't say that I'm always hopeful, even if it might seem that way, but being around you, all of you, it gives me hope. I think if there's any chance of getting out of here, then we can do it, because you're amazing. And so is everyone else here.
That's really something else. I'm glad to have you and all of our friends to hope for. I just, it's hard for someone like me, you know? Throughout my life, I felt like I was constantly losing people close to me. First, it was my dad, and when college came around and Kate was headed off to Holyoke, I felt like everyone who gave me hope in my life was starting to drift away.
Oh. That sounds really tough. Were you close to your dad?
One of my favorite memories is taking a trip with him down the New England coast. Mom had some things to take care of in Taiwan regarding her parents, so it was just me and Dad for a month. We decided to take a big ol' American road trip, drive through New York, Philly, etc., stopping at the mouth of the Potomac. We went crabbing there. And I remember this one specific memory of him picking up a crab and wiggling around and doing the silly voice. He got him with his claw, but, you know, he laughed it off.
Yeah.
Nothing got under his skin. Seemed for the longest time that would always be the case. So, when the crash happened...
Yeah. Yeah, that must have been devastating. I'm so sorry, Haley. Your dad sounds like a really special person. And I'm glad that he got to be a part of your life for as long as he did.
That's a way to look at it, I guess. I'm used to thinking he was taken away from me too soon.
Yeah, I totally understand. I lost my grandpa when I was little, and it hurt an awful, awful lot. We were really close. I mean, he taught me how to golf and always made me feel safe and loved. It always hurts to lose the ones we love, and it's okay that it hurts. But it still hurts. I mean, those feelings just mean that they meant a lot to us while they were here, right? Even though they're gone, the happy memories you have for them will never go away.
You're right, Hugo. You're right. Memory. Could I find happiness and hope in good memories?
Of course you can. I mean, your happy memories are there to remind you that there's good in your life, right? And if there was good for you then, it stands to reason there can be good waiting for you in the future. And that's what hope is.
Yeah. With Kate, though, I know she's not gone, but even though we got so many happy memories, I'm still scared of drifting apart.
Well, in that case, you can let those good memories drive you to find your way back to her. And make more good memories together.
Hugo, what did we ever do to deserve you?
I don't know, like, made a bad wish, I guess?
I've been trying to tell Etta's hopes out there. Well, maybe now I could actually believe it myself. Hey, when we do get out of here, we should probably exchange numbers, right? I'd imagine you'd want to pay a visit now and then again, eh?
Oh, yes, of course. I totally want your number, and I would love to hang out with you and Kate once we're back.
Great. Oh, looks like the others are coming back. We can swap info while we're debating who to send next, yeah?
Awesome, sounds good.
Hey, Hugo?
Yeah?
Thank you so much.
Well, thank you too, Haley.
All right, well, I've got some terrible news. The reason that particular break-in mission took that long, the Blargin Snaggle Beasts were released, and they are now feeding upon the general populace.
Wait, which general populace? Who else is in this museum?
Who else is here?
Well, I don't know. Apparently, we started letting in the patrons, and now they are being eaten by the Blargin Snaggle Beasts. The good news is,
Why would...
the good
I
news is
can't-
some of
we
them are being
evacuate,
extra
or-
because they're into that. The bad news is most of them are not into that.
I can't believe
I'm sorry,
this
I
cat
missed
is
entirely
dead.
everything of what you just said, so I'm gonna need you to say that again.
Folks are in danger.
People are being eaten, and this is a terrible first day for me as assistant to the manager.
I see.
It's okay, you'll cry at least once. It happens
I
in
don't
every
think
job.
Any of this is okay.
Wow.
Oh God!
What a
and I
callback.
sent those folks off to get them in the first place. I am so sorry.
All right.
Jesus.
Well,
It's
that
just knocked over
having been done, let's do a simple job. Let's clean the bathrooms. Tommy, just pick 4 people to clean the bathrooms, and surely nothing will go wrong.
The toilets aren't evil, right?
As far as I know, the toilets aren't evil. Please, Tommy, I need this job. Please pick right 4 people so that I can keep this job and nothing goes wrong anymore. I'm on the 3 strikes rule, Tommy.
Well, smooth move, X-Lax.
Okay, so,
Tommy, just pick me, I can do it.
well, so
we need
far,
4 people, right?
yeah.
Yes.
Okay. So maybe we just go with the people who have not actually gone yet?
Well, so here's the thing about looking at it. If, and this is a big if, I am one of the bad employees, which I'm not, that would mean I am potentially the one who sabotaged both of them, and everyone else could be in the clear. However, I am not, and that is a very slim possibility, so likely we have sent 2 of the, assistant to the manager. About how many bad employees do we have?
Well, statistically, it's likely that you have 4.
Likely we have 4, yeah.
Tommy, we're cleaning toilets. It's not that deep.
I hope not.
But
considering what
statistically, things say that one of the people that we haven't sent is also a bad employee. So if I send the 4 people there, we're still losing.
Yes, but do we
So
have
this
any
is a
way of...
lose-lose situation.
But we don't really have any way of knowing which ones are the good or the bad ones.
I think we're just gonna have to take a guess.
Part.
Yeah.
I suppose it's pointless to say.
Logic's
Yeah.
out the window at this point. I don't care.
I don't know. Close your eyes and pick. I don't know. Point your finger.
Well, Vincent, what are you trying to say?
I mean, I can volunteer as tribute, but, like, trust me or don't, it doesn't matter.
I mean, I also volunteer.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'll do it.
We'll go.
If you
We'll
want
go.
me to.
We'll go. Yeah, I guess just the 4 people who haven't gone already. Percy, Hugo, Grace. No. No, you two.
No!
They look like they need to talk about something, and I don't want to get in between that.
Well, technically speaking, if you send the 2 of them off, they could do something while they're cleaning the toilets.
That's true.
You're right. You two, take whatever you're discussing to the toilets.
No, wait, no, I don't want to. No, please.
Ooh, we get to hear tea in the toilets.
No, I don't want to clean the toilet.
Valencia, as royalty, you should learn to, you should come to understand the duties of all people in your kingdom, including
Get
the
your
duties
hands
of
dirty.
all people.
That is, I will say...
Oh.
No, hold on. That is a very, very good point. As a leader of a nation, it's very important to know...
I'm upset because it's a great point. Fine.
Yeah.
Val, come on, Val. You gotta get acquainted with the throne. Am I right?
The first one throw.
I mean, you could also just kind of watch it happen.
No, it's
No,
that
don't,
That would be cheating.
Keep
that
it in
would
your
be
fucking...
copping out.
Totally.
See, this is why you know that she's a good leader, because she's willing to admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll do it. It'll be fine. I will have to get ready for it. I will pin up my sleeves and I will get in there. But I will not like it. Thank you, Thorin. I appreciate your vote of confidence.
Okay, cool. So it's settled. So those are the people.
So, are those the picks?
It sounds like it.
Sounds
good. In that case, just going down the line one more time to make sure everything's in order. Please, God, I hope everything's in order. Vincent.
Aye. You're doing great.
Thank you. Grace.
Ita vero.
I will take that as a yes.
That's Latin for yes, you idiot.
Nobody knows Latin, you idiot.
Whoa!
My goodness.
Yes.
Percy.
Really?
You work on a farm!
You've seen worse. You've seen
don't have a
pig
cow,
manure.
man.
What exactly are you trying to say about
You
that?
go.
All right, this is all taking too long. What if we all just say yes at the same time? Are we like all in order?
All right.
Can I at least do a 3, 2, 1 countdown so that there's not a cacophony?
Yeah, of
Yes.
course.
Sure.
All right, everyone's saying yes after me. 3, 2, 1.
Yes. Yes.
That seems like an overwhelming amount of yeses. All right, off you go. Have fun cleaning the toilets. Go to hell, Grace.
What the fuck?
You too, bestie!
Before we get started, Percy, I just wanted to pull you aside and ask something. Is that all right?
Oh, yeah, sure. If you want. What do you need?
I don't need anything. I just... I was wondering if everything was all right with you, or just... or anything. I feel as if our friendship has a rift. There's a rift between us, and I can't seem to mend it. I
Val.
care about you
Val.
strongly as a friend, but
Val,
yes.
it's fine. Everything's
not.
fine. It's okay, all right? Let's not worry about it. Let's just get to work.
No, Percy, it's not all right. If you're not feeling well, it's not all right, and I want to know what's wrong and how I can help you.
I'm fine, okay? Look, I'm glad that I don't know if there's really any easy way to put it. I'm happy for you, okay? I'm happy that you're able to meet new people and that you're able to get along with some of the newer folks around here. I'm glad about that.
Percy, I'm sorry. I still view you as one of my closest friends. I'm sorry if you feel left out or anything. If you want, we can play some more games together, like more tabletop games I've been learning, and we can go on some strolls together, perhaps get food in the mall. So we can enjoy more of our time together.
That not, please. Thank you. Look, Val, I get that you're trying to help. I do. I genuinely do, and I appreciate it. I guess I just sort of feel numb at the moment with everything that's happening. You know, everything's just moving so fast, and I think I need to let my mind just slow down for a second. Just for a moment or two. I'm willing to take you up on your offer. I am. We can hang out. I think I need some time to just think. Just to take a step back. Take a deep breath and think. Is that okay with you?
Of course that's okay with me. I want whatever's best for you, Percy. You're my friend. You were my first friend here. And related to that, I'm sorry that I've caused you pain. I know you're saying you're feeling numb, but numbness results from a scar, a wound. And I'm deeply sorry that I caused you that wound. I do hope that we can make some good memories together while we're still here. Once you're ready, of course.
I look forward to that. I do. I hope. Yeah.
Good. I'm glad that we won't simply drift apart. I worry about that.
I apologize if it came off the wrong way. Al.
No, I understand. Thank you for talking with me.
Of course. Let's get this done.
Yes, let's show these toilets who's boss.
All right. Your friendly neighborhood manager is here to give you a report. Apparently, in the course of cleaning toilets, someone opened up a portal to the elemental plane of water.
God damn it.
Who did it?
That is most unfortunate. The museum is ruined. Assistant to the manager, you're fired.
No! Don't come to fire him!
This is the worst day of my life. This is all your fault, Grace. Don't you give me that fake sympathy. You're telling me I was doing a terrible job all this time, and now look at me, I'm fired. Thanks a lot, Grace.
Hey, I was cleaning toilets for the past 10 minutes. How did I have anything to do with that?
You have been nothing but negative this entire time. You have just been downplaying every achievement this man has made since he has started getting his position.
Yeah, it's
Maybe your new name should be Nancy Garden, because you're a negative Nancy.
You're not even a bad employee. You're just kind of a bitch.
Oh!
Yeah, it's Percy, Valencia, Haley, and the Wino who are the bad employees.
I'm a bad employee.
Damn it! I knew you unlatched that gate.
Listen, they were really cute, and I thought they deserved it to run free. I couldn't help
Yeah,
myself.
you thought that was funny? It took a bite out of my fucking wheelchair!
Listen, the Barnsey buddies were getting in the way of the other windows, okay? They moved the windows around.
You know
Look,
what, Steven?
look at what you've done! A part of my seat is missing!
You know what?
Pretty
Steven,
sure
don't
that's
take this to
just
heart. There are better jobs for you.
I'm pretty sure
Anyways.
that's because of the beasts.
Well, that was quite the fun excursion. The multiverse is ruined, exactly the way how I like it, so thanks everybody for that. Now then, I did promise a story, didn't I?
You did.
I did.
Are you interested in telling it?
I am, yes. You might want to sit down, go grab a drink. It's gonna be a little bit of a doozy. I'm gonna hope your feeble mortal minds can handle it. So, in the beginning, there was nothing. And me. Now, nothing is boring. So, I changed that. And BAM! The universe was born! It looked cool as hell. The nothing wanted to say nothing, of course, but I don't really give a shit about its opinion. The thing about the universe, though, is it's stagnant. And once you see what it has to offer, it's also boring. So I broke it apart and started again. And again. And again. Eventually, I wasn't alone in doing that, though. Things of the base elements that I used to smash worlds together started taking on lives of their own. The water, the earth, the air, the fire. Of course, people made up a lot more elements later, but as far as I know, I don't have a kid that's the anthropomorphic personification of Ununium. Now, these kids, they stuck around. They fought a lot, but they ended up making and breaking worlds too. Call them kindred spirits, if you will. It was nice, while it lasted. Obviously, it didn't last, or not only would I not be here, you would not be here. See, during one of the incarnations of the universe being destroyed and reborn, there were some realms. I don't want to say parallel, because that's not quite correct. Imagine reality is like an onion. Peel back the layers, get to the outer parts, and you get to where the Fae and the New Men hang out. And these guys, creatures of pretty substantial magic, decided they liked the world exactly how it was. And before the Primordials could break it, they decided to fight back. Hard. What an absolute spectacle. You people haven't seen war until it involves stabbing someone with the sun. Oh, the Wiping Wind was pissed after that one. But see, all the time the Newmen were trying so hard to preserve the world they were fighting, using bits and pieces of, I was learning. Studying exactly what they did, so I could tear it out from under them when the time was right. I was almost ready, too. But then, Pantalasa, she thought she had better chances working with them. Or thought she'd have a better chance ruling anything if she acted as like the triple agent. Never could get a good read. Either way, she switched sides, and the war turned, and they got me. In the beginning, there was nothing, and there was me. What was I? Well, I don't like labels. I don't like being defined. To define chaos is not to comprehend it. But that's what the New Men did. Chained me up, locked me behind a door, gave me form, gave me definition, gave me a name. Ozzelthog. Worse yet, they called me something. A title that wasn't just the personification of the primordial chaos that is creation. Chaos God. As if I'm just another one of them. Oh, yeah, they started calling themselves gods. That part was implied before, but might as well say it. It causes me pain, you know? I'm not supposed to have any of that stuff. I'm just supposed to be. Hell, even taking the reins of this place, the fucking void, it fucking hurts. But I gotta do it because the alternative is worse. And I guess the gods thought their alternative was better because shoving me aside and leaving me to rot was their idea of saving their world. Like I am saving every world. And see, I'd get that. I wouldn't agree, but I'd understand that point of view of wanting things to stay as they are because you like them that way. If they didn't turn right around and smash the old world to build a new one in their image. With the help of my kids, of course. Their leader, the big guy in charge of leading the charge against me, he calls himself the All-Father now. As if he's king of the gods from which all other life emerged. It's a load of bullshit. An attempt to muddy the waters. To get people's attention, off of me. Or the void. Oh, yeah, around this incarnation, people were made. Mortals and the like. That part was implied before, but might as well say it. And then, who comes knocking at the doors of reality? But her, capital H, and her goon squad. You know damn well who, the woman whose name I can't say unless you all want to explode and have every molecule be placed on the surface of a different sun. The one who decided that she was actually the one who made all reality, and wanted all of it back. Gods, am I right? Take your eyes off of them for 2 seconds, and they just keep spawning and insisting they made the world. Of course, the All-Father and his goons aren't fans of that. Neither are gods from other realities. Everyone who's around at the time comes together to fight. And it's a hell of a fight, but they're having some trouble. So they call in a Hail Mary. They open my door, remove my chains, and let me loose. And I rip that jellyfish apart, over and over and over, until she fits nicely into that space between dimensions. And then she's the one locked up so she can't bother anyone. It's cathartic. Then, of course, the ungrateful bastards expect me to either go back to the cage quietly, or go down in another god war. And that wasn't happening. So, I moved. From reality to reality to reality. Peeling back the onions, diving in and out. They knew I was out there. They just didn't have the reach to stop me. Stop me from what, I hear you ask? Killing gods. I mean, think about it. What else would I do? They're nothing but trouble. They come in, swinging their metaphorical dicks around and declare, I am ruler and master of this domain! Usually taking that domain from people who are perfectly happy without one. They're never benevolent. A lot of them actively seek to make others miserable for their own benefit. We're better without them. Of course, I've been doing this for a while. I recognize there are some it's better to keep around than others. Black Stars, though, they kept being a problem. See, she, capital S, was smart when it came to keeping her and her cronies around. She tied them in so deep to their concepts that I couldn't just waltz up to their door with an exploding candygram and that would be that. And she was slow, relatively speaking, to make new ones. But when she did, there wasn't any undoing that. Story says she needs 13, counting her. Technically true. Number 6, fate here, is the point of no return. If the jellyfish gets fate on her side, that's it. No one can make any sort of opposition against the Black Stars. Any door that opens for a move into a new dimension, the new place loses. Period. Because she says so. Now, I, like most people, am a fan of choice. Of doing whatever you want. You want. Not some jackass in the sky. So that wasn't gonna fly. But the rat wouldn't let me in. And the twink wouldn't let me in, because they were smart. But lucky me, the raven wasn't. I poked and prodded for eons, looking for a way to take down the Black Star-making machine. And I found the only way to do that would be to take the controls myself and overload the thing. And to do that without getting ripped out by people who knew what they were doing, I needed agents. Once I started gathering, Steven was an obvious choice. The perfect player. One she'd never suspect until he got close enough. One Until he got close enough one way or another, rather, to run her through the gut and hand off that power to me. Frenchie was a hell of a distraction. Someone that obviously evil and powerful would have been the obvious target if anything went wrong. Gick Millicuddy to annoy the mini wino was hilarious as hell. And Doc, well, Doc is special. Where are they from? Oh, come on, this is a museum of multiversal madness. I'm talking about other realities. They're from other dimensions. Now pay attention, this gets real complicated. In Cateau's dimension, the Industrial Revolution started in France, boosted along by ancient magic. They beat the shit out of the Nazis and used that industry to boost themselves even further. Stephen was from a dimension where the Industrial Revolution was super boosted by magic in England, all thanks to Merlin, who saw, there might be a problem here now that I see the problems of these other guys, and so just threw him into another dimension, the French one, because Merlin's a dick. And so I picked up 3 of the 4 from that dimension, at different times. Stephen came first with the theater fire. Cateau I picked up in 75 after the whole Atlantis incident. Gick Millicuddy, well, okay. Just imagine a split timeline where I didn't pick up Stephen. And after all that assassin training, he just kind of stopped giving a shit and let himself go. That's Gick Millicuddy. And Doc is special. Figured that was implied. As for the rest, well, I'm pretty sure you know that by now. I'm here. I'm overloading the system. It hurts having form, it hurts tying myself to a story, it hurts just being here, but I gotta, because no one else can. I am freeing reality itself from having choice, and then everything else, literally everything else, taken away. And you have problems with that for some reason. It's fine. Gods and their worshippers were assholes long before you. They'll be that way long after you. I'm just doing what I can to stop that spread. Eternity is worth the pain.
You know, funny enough, your goals are the same as ours. Technically, when she had a little more control, the same as Lottie's originally, too.
I mean, more or less, yeah.
Alright, well, once again, I feel the need to stress that I'm fine with all of this, with everything that is going on, with the inevitable annihilation if it comes to that. How about maybe instead of seeing us as an opposition, I don't know, let us help in some way? I'd love to fuck around with the Void however I can.
Yeah. Why the fuck are we fighting this in the first place? We literally have the same goals, as well as a mini Black Star herself on our side here. She wants to take this down, same as you. Again, she wants the same thing as you do. We want the same thing as you do. We want to keep our choice, Ozzy. Tactical advantage.
No. Don't get fucking confused here. The wino is on the wino's side. You happen to be useful idiots. Emphasis on the idiots. You can't help because you're fucking bad at it.
I don't know about that. We just willed Doc and Steven into existence out of thin air. Also, there's a lot that can be done with chaos with a narrative.
Not to mention the capabilities we've proven ourselves to be, well, capable of with our narrations. I mean, if anything, I think, given that, we've proven that at this point anything's possible.
And if we're so bad at it, educate us. A soldier doesn't know how to fire a gun when it gets handed to him. A baby doesn't know how to walk until they're taught.
All right. You want instruction? You want to make sure that you get it right? Cool. You got a couple eons to spare? The answer is no. No, you don't.
Well, you get us out of here alive, and we'll have plenty of time.
Ezra, what he's trying to say is he's too proud to admit he doesn't know what he's doing.
What Grace is trying to say is, I am very smart woman. Everyone recognize how snarky and cool I am because I have a terrible, terrible ego and a need for validation. See, I can put words in your mouth too.
Deflection. Child's tactic.
Oh, no wonder you're Baku's baby. You sound just like him.
The fuck did you just say?
Okay, everyone stop before he switches around the parts of your all the different parts of your face. I think it's been made very clear by now that as much as I think it would benefit us all to get the fuck out of here and destroy this place together, gods don't appreciate human help or human feedback.
Gods are mean.
You ain't kidding.
Okay, well, speaking of human feedback, since you are one again now, do you want to explain if you do or do not actually know him from before he showed up dramatically?
Okay, well, when I first became a god, this bastard waltzed in, called me the new kid, was generally snarky, and then he went on his way. And then he kept doing it every couple of centuries while I tried to shoo him out. Go figure, he always seemed to find his way back.
You just allowed this? One would imagine the powers of a godling could prevent trespasses.
Oh, I'm sorry. Would you like to explain to the horrifying dear god that not only are you bad at your job, but also some weirdo keeps popping into what's supposed to be a sealed void? That sounds like a great way to get squished, and that's if Cernos is feeling reasonable, and he is never feeling reasonable.
Ew. So, he basically had carte blanche on annoying you for centuries because he knew you wouldn't say anything. Ugh. Real classy, Tim. It sounds like a no-win situation, Lottie. I'm sorry. It must have been awful.
It was.
So, Chaz, just to clarify, all four of the guys Bill Cipher here dropped into the void are all Stevens. He deployed like, what, 3 or 4 Stevens into the void and you didn't notice? Listen, I mean, to be fair, usually they've been swapping in and out, which kind of makes sense given that they're different versions of the same guy and might take up the same slot in whatever game thing this is, but, like, how long has Doc been in here again?
I don't know. Time isn't real? It's been a long time. He just popped up and, well, first I thought maybe I made a deal on accident, and then I was like, wait, that's impossible, and he was still here, and wow, would you look at that? The whale god has shown up because I'm behind on things, and now I'm drowning. Would you add that problem by saying some extra soul popped in without your permission?
And yet you still failed to do anything when 3 others showed up.
Okay, so one time there I was running a scenario and I was missing a person because they were just too tired to be in my cool rendition of Cowboy Bebop, but it's werewolf. And then she showed up and was like, so long, space cowboy. And then she rewired my brain. Have I made it clear yet I was in a goddamn situation? Sometimes when shit's stressful, problems go on the later pile. And then later doesn't happen because the now pile is literal eons.
Breathe! For goodness sake!
Okay, but when this mildly inconvenient thing happened, why didn't you drop everything and address it? Please reconfirm what you said to the last 3 people, for my amusement.
Oh! What's this in my hand? Oh! It's a bird! It's for you!
I'm sorry, do all gods just defer to playground insults once they're stumped on something? Is that what y'all do?
No, shut up.
Alright, well, I am curious. This is all a show, and she's watching, right? So, how did she and the other Black Stars not even fucking notice?
Okay, so you've hung around Val enough to be familiar with magic, right?
Right.
Right? Cool. Glamour is an enchanter's favorite go-to spell. To keep a long story short, this particular glamour, when cast over whatever, just makes people who look at it think, that's someone else's problem, and not think about it.
So, you threw a blanket over them, cool.
A magic blanket.
Haley, magic is much more complex than a blanket. This is a very complicated illusion type spell. One can simply remove a blanket, but one cannot simply remove a spell like this so easily. Goodness.
So Chaos God threw a magic blanket over Steven and the gang, cool.
Regardless, speaking of magic, the sorcerer Kato was quite powerful in his magical arsenal. Did his magic come from other gods unrelated to the Black Stars? I'm unfamiliar with much of his techniques, so it is not my pantheon. Is it the ones from your pantheon, since you're at least tangentially related to him?
I mean, yeah, sure, technically. You know, it doesn't really matter. They're my pantheon, they're addicting, whatever. Look, I'm bored. I have told my story, and you have all been playing nice, except for Grace, who's never nice, but I'll take what I can get. And little good children deserve a treat.
But that doesn't actually answer any questions.
Get in the van. Hello, and welcome back to Discord Murder Party, the show where everything is horrifying and everyone dies. I am your host, and tonight we have...
Scenario 2. Good children go to the zoo.
The zoo is a place for fun, for education, and most importantly, for staring at animals and hearing children scream, "Hey, monkey!" for hours on end. It's a place of beauty and pseudo-natural habitats, disrupted, again, by children screaming, "Hey, monkey!" for hours on end. And most importantly, it's a place for field trips! Alright, everyone out of the van, everyone pile out, right, boots on the ground, people,
Hey,
we only got so
monkey!
much time here at the zoo. Alright,
Please let this be a normal field trip.
everyone go scatter around.
See?
Everyone go scatter around, go look at a bunch of different animals, scream at them if you want to, you won't be heard over the kids. Wino, go look at the rhinos.
You go, let's go!
Okay, I'll go look at the tank dogs if I must. Let's go.
Oh my god.
Hello and welcome to Zoo Facts, providing you fun zoo facts about every animal here at our zoo. To start with, squirrels. Squirrels do not believe in God, thus condemning them to limbo, the first circle of hell.
Okay, right. Oh god. Well, it's always nice to try new things. Hey, Steven.
Oh, hello, Miss Garden. Are you here to tell me I'm doing a bad job and that I'm a moron again?
No, I got too into that. I'm sorry.
Oh, okay.
Oh, right. Okay. Anyways, I've never actually been to a zoo before. I don't suppose you could recommend the best animals to see, could you?
While I am unfamiliar with this zoo, and thus I have no knowledge of which animal is best behaved, I was heading in the direction of the primate exhibits.
Monkeys sound very dangerous to keep in a zoo, especially considering what's just happened.
Where would you keep monkeys, Miss Garden?
Far, far away from civilization, where there's no risk of them attacking citizens. I don't know. This whole place feels like a death trap to me, monkeys aside.
Unless you wish to leap into the monkey pit, you're in no danger from the monkeys, Miss Garden. You don't wish to leap into the monkey pit, do you?
Funnily enough, that was not on my list of things to do today, no. Well, but since you're so confident, I'm counting on you to protect me if they do go rampant.
That sounds unlikely, but I will do as you ask.
No, I was just joking. Come on, we can walk and talk.
Oh, alright. In that case, we have arrived at the monkeys. They look nice. Anyway, we should keep walking and talking.
Wait, no. It's okay. We can pause for a bit. I want to watch them.
Do you enjoy them?
Well, a bit, since these ones aren't purple, but I was kind of expecting them to do a bit more. They're all just sitting there.
What is there to do? The enclosure, and I would assume areas backstage, are their home, their life. It's easier for them to sit when they're tired, to move when they want to move, to eat when they're hungry. Monkeys do not plot and plan their day, they just live.
Well, sounds like an easy life.
It is.
Hey, Steven, there's something I never got the chance to ask you about.
Okay.
Is it fun being an actor?
I do not know if you would enjoy it, but I certainly did. It was nice being in someone else's skin for a time, making decisions made by someone else and getting applause for it.
Yeah, I know that. But I guess the fun comes in, the variety you have.
The fun comes in getting it right, Miss Garden.
Yeah, I don't think acting's for me then. Still, I'm surprised Kato let you do it. Did it take much convincing?
From what I can remember, I stared at a traveling troupe passing by with some degree of fascination. He noticed that. He noticed I was slow and learning to blend in. And he suggested acting could be a good supplement to my training.
So he... Oh... So he told you to do it. If you don't mind me asking, was he any different back then?
From what?
I mean, from how he was in here.
For one thing, he was not made of mahogany.
No, I mean pre-chair.
Oh, pre-chair.
Mm.
Pre-chair, he was much the same. Enjoyed wines from the vineyard by the monastery. Could pick out small details that irritated him in anyone and anything. Made him an incredible planner.
Was he a perfectionist?
Absolutely.
Stephen, he's not here anymore. He can't tell you what to do now. Or ever anymore.
I'm aware. It's hard to give commands when one is a chair. It's rather distressing, to be honest.
But now you can do whatever you want. I know you can feel lost at first, but is there really nothing that you want to do?
I learned quickly that what I want is immaterial. I, and almost everyone around me, have roles to play. And they play them. The actor wants nothing of value. Certainly, Mr. Reed and the Chaos God can give direction every now and then, but one way or another, it will be temporary. And I will be either wiped out completely, or just lost, with nothing left to want.
That's just... really sad. I'm so sorry, Stephen. I wish I could help you with this. But I'm not a psychiatrist.
I don't believe that there's anything to help. Just the man who played his part, who apparently killed two playing theirs, and one who wasn't to the end.
One who wasn't?
Vivi. Everyone who dies and kills in here, they do because that's their fate. That's what they chose to do. That's who they are. She rejected that life, and what happened to her? I did. Unfortunate. Undeserving. But there's only so much I can do, no matter how undeserving she was of what happened.
But surely it's not too late.
She's dead and her body is ash, Miss Garden.
And? We've been here for years and have basically been saying fuck the impossible the entire time. Chaos took you as you killed her, right? So there's still a chance. We can get you back. You can do something else with that knife. Throw it away or something. You can make things right still, Stephen.
I can tell you've faith in your friends, Miss Garden. Is it really wise to put such faith in me?
Well, do you have faith in me?
I trust you will act as you always have, according to the role you are provided in the games, with a heavy dose of sarcasm and a sprinkling of bitterness along the way.
That works for me. So, if you wouldn't mind, could you give me your hand?
Yes.
Here.
This is a magnifying glass.
Yes. It's pretty much the last thing I have from outside the void. And it's yours, for however long you need or want it. So now you know that no matter what Chaos God or anybody else tells you to do, I trust the person inside with my whole life. Because I know you'll still be in there, Stephen.
But what am I meant to do with it?
Oh, well, personally, I use it to catch the tiniest of clues. You can't spot everything at a first glance.
Okay.
go. What do you think?
I think I need more practice with this.
Well, let's go find a smaller animal then. You can practice with them if they get up close.
The hippo is the deadliest animal in Africa. This is because the hippo has full access to the entire nuclear arsenal of the United States Armed Forces, and will not hesitate to use it at the slightest insult.
So then I came home completely covered in dirt, and like after my mom told me not to play in the brand new dress clothes she got me, I mean, of course I got in trouble for ruining the new clothes, but you know, they ended up taking a picture of me smiling and covered head to toe in dirt, and they framed the picture too. You know what? Now that I think about it, I think it's probably still hanging in the hallway at my parents' house.
Oh, I remember when I went to my auntie's house and there was a big lake in the backyard. Aunt Misty told me and my cousins not to play in the water, and I said, she said we could dip our feet in there, so we dipped our feet in the water. And I said, why not go up to our ankles? So we went up to our ankles. And then Macy said, I'm sure our knees would be fine. So we went up to our knees. And then Ethan accidentally got mud on his shirt, so he had to go wash it off. And then we just started playing in the water, and it was so much fun. And Aunt Misty was so bad.
That's so much more fun. Oh, look at that. Look, a tiger.
Huh? What?
Look at it. Look how big it is.
Yeah. It's a really big tiger.
Hey. Are you afraid of tigers?
No. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I'm sorry, kiddo. I had no idea. What scares you about them?
Papa and Abuela were watching a movie when I was supposed to be asleep, and in the movie a guy got attacked by a tiger, and I could never unsee it. I couldn't sleep without the door open for years.
Ooh. Yeah. Yeah, that would do it, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Well, we're safe from this tiger at least, but we can move on to another exhibit if it'll make you feel safer.
Could we please go see the penguins again?
Yeah, let's do that.
Thanks. Hey, are you afraid of anything?
Well, yeah. I'm afraid of some
Really?
things.
Really? Like what?
Well, I haven't told you about my grandfather yet, have I?
Your grandfather?
Yeah, Grandpa Hugo. He's who I was named after. He was my mom's dad. He was a really wonderful person, and he taught me how to play golf when I was little. He always had a cigarette in his mouth. I remember one time he challenged me to a foot race, and like I was I want to say like 11 or 12 at the time. It was like to the end of the yard and back, and right at the finish line, he trips and falls, just rolling on the ground a few times. The cigarette never left his mouth. It broke in half, but it was like it didn't leave his mouth.
That's dedication.
Yeah, that was my grandpa. Well, as he got older, he started to forget things. Small things at first, like where he left his keys, and then bigger things like people's birthdays, where he worked, his grandkids' names. My grandpa had brain cancer, and it caused him to start losing his memories.
Wow. That sounds kind of like what my papa went through. It wasn't cancer, but he forgot my name a lot. He called me my dad's name, a bunch of different names, and I would be that person for the day, and it made him so happy. But he called me Thorin less and less as the years went by.
Sorry, Thorin. I know what that feels like. And it sounds like you know better than anybody what I went through.
I'm sorry too. It's not easy to see someone you love forget. But at the same time, I know it's not good, but I'm glad I'm not the only one who, you know. It's nice to have someone to talk to about it who knows how I feel.
Me too, kiddo. So, when you asked what I was afraid of...
Yeah?
Watching my grandpa go through that, him feeling so confused, knowing that he was forgetting things, I'm afraid that'll happen to me. I'm afraid that everything I love and cherish will be slowly taken away from me by my own mind, and that I'll forget the people I care about. I'm afraid that I'll lose myself, and that the people around me will be sad about the person they lost, like I was when my grandpa went away. Or at least that's what it felt like at the time. And I know he was still there, but yeah, when there was that moment that he forgot my name. He remembered it really quickly after, but it was, yeah, it was really hard, and it's all right. And I'm just afraid that I'll be scared because I can't recognize any of the people around me who love me.
I understand, I do. I can't stand the thought of not knowing the friends I've already made, but getting them. I just can't even imagine.
Yeah. I guess there are a few other things that frighten me, you know, like dark places, scary sounds. Spiders are kind of creepy, but more than anything, the thought of losing myself scares me the most.
For me, it's tigers, that's obvious.
Yeah.
The dark, wapses, and...
You mean wasps?
Yeah, and Jack Skellington.
Okay, yeah, I can see that. I personally love Jack Skellington, but we don't have to watch The Nightmare Before Christmas if you don't wanna.
He's so tall, and his fingers are freaky, and don't get me started on his scary face.
Yeah, he's definitely creepy. Yeah, I think Oogie Boogie scared me more as a kid. Yeah, him and the no-face clown.
Ooh, those are some good ones. I actually thought Oogie Boogie was really funny, and I really liked his song. But the thing under the stairs with the snake fingers definitely gave me the creeps.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Oh, look, we made it to the penguins.
Yay! You want to see if they have penguin plushies to keep us safe?
Yeah, let's go get some pingies.
Pengies!
The mountain lion is also known as the cougar. It is also known as the puma. It is also known as the jaguar. It is also known as the panther. It is also known as the leopard. The mountain lion is wanted for identity fraud and tax fraud in all 9 continents.
Hey, Charlie. I don't know why, but I figured that you would be at the food court.
Listen, when you haven't been able to taste anything for years, even zoo chicken tenders are a delicacy. Do you want one?
I don't see why not. After all, they cut them into animal shapes. Makes them taste better.
Pretend Furry-for. Or Furry-for? I meant to say Furry-for, and instead I said Furry-for. Either way, it is my favorite, so...
That's one way to look at it. Listen, Furry-for aside, I was wanting to make sure you were okay.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, you did just go through a super traumatic event where your eternal soul was ripped from your chest in front of all of us, and going based on human standards, if you're relearning to walk, that's pretty difficult. So I'm guessing you're having a hard time relearning how to human again.
Well, I mean, well, okay, so it's not quite learning how to human because technically I lost my soul a long time ago. But yes, this particular state of half-god is weird. Well, to be honest, this is actually the best I've felt in a very long time. Like, I no longer have a constant aching need for human suffering, so that's pretty great. I'm definitely still getting something every time you fuckers do a narrative, but chicken tenders are a pretty good nicotine patch, as it turns out. Shame that comes at the cost of basically any ability I had to help you in the other awakened. So I guess I wasn't doing a great job even when I had the powers, so maybe that's for the best.
Well, you weren't doing a good job assuming what you said was false. If your plan all along was to get rid of the Black Stars, then outside of the fact that you would have had no chance in hell to actually do it,
I mean, you're right.
You did a pretty good job helping us, even if you had a pretty fucked up way of showing it.
What are you talking about? I didn't help you with anything. Hell, I was sitting here trying to figure out how I was gonna approach you and apologize, since, frankly, I owe you multiple. Between slicing you to ribbons and fucking up your story so you glitched and then literally everything else, I should be apologizing for a while.
True, but I think you're forgetting I did already mostly forgive you last time you apologized. There's too much going on in this void for me to hold it against you. Oh.
Well, yeah, I guess I can appreciate how you just not having enough fucks. Thanks, I guess.
Ah, yes. Look at my field of fucks. See how it is barren.
Are you actually out of fucks? I was under the impression you were one of the "oh no, my found family" people in the great "Who's Arguing This Week" wars of DMP.
I don't know. An undetermined amount of time ago, I was out of fucks. Now I'm trying to see things a little differently. Speaking of which, I did have one other question for
Okay.
you.
Yeah, one question? Sure, shoot.
Okay, so you've mentioned before that you couldn't lie about our backstories, only omit details and stuff. Did the same rules apply for when you told us about stuff that would happen after we were taken?
Well, of course it does. Why do you ask?
Well, I've been talking with Haley about things outside the void, and about Angelina, and how you said she was planning on proposing to me. I just didn't know if that was actually the case, or if you'd fudged some details to make a happier ending.
I mean, I said she was gonna propose because it's much sadder that currently in the timeline you died right beforehand. So no, I didn't... Oh god, what is the face you're making? Did you... Wait, what? Why would you think I made that up? She was so blatantly in love with you that your soul produced a reflection of her that pulled you out of Glitch Town. Why the fuck would anything about that be made up?
Yeah, that's about what Haley said too. I guess despite everything, part of my brain just got so caught up in the doom and gloom of it all, I wasn't able to process what was right in front of my nose.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to upset you. You know, dire situations will do that. Sounds to me like, in spite of everything, you're still struggling with the idea that you need to be someone besides Tommy Gwendolyn.
I guess so.
Well, this may be a bit of a pot kettle black situation, and I know words don't necessarily counteract what's in your brain, but I'll have you know that Angelina Fenbun and at least 10 other people think Tommy Gwendolyn is a pretty great guy, and he does quite a lot just being himself.
You know, you're right on the money there.
Well, that's what you get for questioning a half-god over her chicken tenders. Speaking from someone looking on the outside, you've got plenty of proof that your brain's not correct. It never hurts to ask for assurance, though. The narrative always looks a little different from the outside looking in.
That it does. Well, I think that was all I had for now, so thank you for the insight and the chicken nuggies.
Well, thank you for checking up on me and not having enough fucks to hold a grudge. Cheers.
The octopus has 8 arms. You might think this means it can flip you off 8 times. This is incorrect. The octopus has 280 suckers on each arm, so the octopus can actually flip you off 2,240 times. No creature expresses hate better than the octopus.
You know, Grace, I gotta say, you look pretty good with your hair up.
Oh? Oh, thanks, Haley. That's nice of you to say.
So, is that really Doc's hair tie?
Yes. I didn't mean to. When I tried to find him, the only thing in his room was this. I didn't even realize I had picked it up until later. I guess I wasn't thinking.
Guessing when you picked it up, it was some sort of subconscious way of coming to terms with your friendship with Doc, something sentimental.
Haley, it's just a hair tie.
It's the hair tie of the guy you thought was dead.
Okay, that too. Actually, I haven't told anyone this yet. But I had a dream about him right before I started wearing it.
What about?
Well, we talked about a lot, and then we shouted at each other a bit. Then we talked some more when we calmed down. And when we were done, he left. But one of the last things he said was to keep my hair back so I could find him more easily. And to make sure Emmy doesn't break me. Look where we are now. I did it. And we're still in a mess.
I see, and still taking Doc's word to heart now about making sure that she didn't break you after seeing her for what she was?
Christ! Haley! You heard what he said! Anything we went through of her barely scratches the surface of what he suffered. How the hell can I ever defend her knowing how he feels? He hates me enough as it is. I don't want to hurt him any more than what he's already going through.
I'll be honest, I don't know what will or will not hurt Doc. You know him better than I do. But, barring whatever happened, what are your own feelings on Charlie?
Too many. I've been numb to her, I've despised her, I've respected her, I've been terrified of her. And when we killed her, satisfied. Because I never wanted to see her again. And now I look at her and all I can see is myself.
Yourself?
Chaos God goes off about why didn't she just leave. Haley, that final night I had with Graham, I tried to leave. And he struck me as well. And all of those years of anger I had just exploded. I watched Casilda and Morgan and everything just flooded back. And now I find out all this time that Emmy was terrified of me? And that fact just doesn't satisfy me. God, of course I feel sorry for her! And don't you dare tell anybody I said that!
I won't, especially not Doc.
He's gonna find out eventually. I knew it! I wanted to see him again so badly, but I knew he wouldn't have been happy to see me. We just made each other miserable in the end.
I get it's hard to find peace with the guy, I'll admit. Matter of fact, I got the feeling that I offended Doc just by being here. Maybe there was a small part of me that was... Jesus Christ, I'm going to hell for saying this, but back then, when he got kidnapped, I was honestly a little relieved I didn't have to deal with the baggage. But now that he is back, the other part of me just wants to apologize. To make things right, and, you know, Doc never saw the better part of me, yeah, but getting some kind of moral high ground isn't the goal here. I don't know what CG or MG put him through, but I don't want to make Doc's life any more miserable. though I suppose it's a bit too late for that, eh?
At this point? I mean, I can't speak for how he feels. And I'm at a standstill with him. But with you, I suppose you really won't know until you try.
Yeah, no, you're totally right, Grace. And I do want to approach him. I want to talk to him and just, apologize. But here's the problem. We don't know much about him. The real him. Ostensibly, the reason he's hurting so much is because of the torture he went through, but you look into the guy's eyes, and it runs way, way deeper than you can imagine. You saw how he was when he was yelling at all of us. We don't have his story. We only have his pain.
I know. That's why I wanted to find his story in the first place. He held steady and saved us. He pulled us out of a lotus eater. And I wanted to give that back to him. Getting him out of here, getting his ending. That's what I was aiming for, but I didn't listen to him. I should have just listened and stopped. And now he's never going to forgive me.
Look, Grace. I know part of you is thinking that all Doc's doing now is making us all miserable, but what you're saying now is that there's a better part of you. And that part just got a second chance to make things right. Which is, kind of where I'm at now, see? I guess it's all we can do now to try not to blow it, right?
A second chance. You think that could work?
Well, only Doc could forgive any of us, but never let it be said we ain't gonna try to make it better.
Haley, you... I didn't think... I'd given up thinking I could make it better.
Well, there's your first mistake. Once you give up, it truly becomes never. I just wish I knew that before Chaz dragged me in here. But one thing's for sure, if I get out of here, I'm shaping up, making sure my grades ain't ass.
You got graded for fashion design?
It's less grades for fashion design and more like my general ed. Newsflash, depression makes trig hard.
Is trig a mathematical thing?
Yeah, trigonometry, triangles and crab, sine, cosine, tangent, all that.
You learn about but triangles are just... I'm so confused!
I know, right? When are we gonna use this stuff in real life, yeah?
Yeah, what?
I mean, to be fair, I'm doing the drawing, I gotta know that... Whatever.
Right. Just... Thank you, Haley. Thank you, and listen... No matter what anyone makes you believe, whether it's Doc, Chaos God, anyone, you've always made me feel better.
Thanks. You got a hard head, Grace, but that's why I'm glad you're my friend.
The bighorn sheep's horns are not actually that big. It is so named because its partners must constantly reassure the bighorn sheep that its horns are big to prevent it from crying.
Hey, Doc. What are you doing about the lion pit? Are there
Well,
balls
if
in
it
the
were
lion
balls,
pit?
that would be fun. I am not in the mood for fun, so I'm looking at the lions. And in doing so, doing some calculations in my head. Mostly about how big a jump I would have to make to land in the pit in good enough condition that the lions would immediately consider eating me.
Well, say if we were to have a running start, we'd hit the water before even getting close to the spot they lounge at. That, and it looks like they're already eating something. Is that an Uncle Ernol's bag?
I have no idea what it is, but there's a voice in the back of my head screaming at me to not examine it any closer, so I can only assume yes.
I'm sorry for trying to pull you back into all of this. I know I'm sorry doesn't hold any merit to you, and God knows it's been thrown in your face more times than you could count on your hands, but I'm sorry.
I appreciate the self-awareness, Mr. Crane. Well, looks like I'll have to wait for them to digest. You all right? Regardless of how sorry you feel, I'm here. I would say for better or worse, but there is no better in this situation, now is there?
I haven't really seen much that is better, honestly. Vinny's positive that we're getting out of here, and wants to save you with us. I wanted to bring you back because I felt like you deserved to feel better. Maybe even numb on our way out, given how much you've had to deal with before.
I haven't felt anything but pain for a while, Mr. Crane. Your assumption that I'd want to go back to feeling that again was not appreciated.
Yeah, I know that now. I was wrong, inconsiderate, and unaware that you truly had an out. At least until CG alluded to it, so I was wrong.
You know, it usually takes people much longer to admit that. And honestly, you are one of the last people I would expect to admit that so quickly, Mr. Crane.
The arrogant kid that you first met isn't me. I mean, it was, but I had a good 3 years to let go of the ego. You know, I still struggle with that, but surprise, surprise, there's always more between the lines.
Well, if indeed that boy is you 3 years prior, I'm glad to say goodbye to him. I suppose technically this is a proper hello to you, but considering we're going to get annihilated and I am determined to get eaten by these lions, I don't feel as if that would do much good.
CG mentioned something along the lines of you not deserving better when I spoke to him. His malice and his tone towards you was odd. I don't know where I'm going with this. All gods seem to have a fucking hate boner towards humanity for some fucking reason. Would you do things differently? If you had a second chance? You know, like another shot to do something right.
Doing things differently? Besides the obvious of never coming here in the first place?
Obviously.
An interesting riddle you've proposed, Mr. Crane. I've been here long enough to see stories and wishes go wrong again and again. Stories of those who also wish to do things differently, to make something right. In that context, I can't help but think that this making things right would involve wishes, and we know those go nowhere good.
It's all hypothetical. No wishes, no Black Star bullshit, just the idea of something being, you know, different. Or maybe a different choice. Butterfly effect.
The context of wishes being removed, I still have hang-ups about the process behind the question, Mr. Crane. You're a smart man, I trust you know of the ship of Theseus.
Of course. The question of whether or not the boat is the same, even after every single piece, every board, every nail, and every rope was replaced.
I change one aspect of my life, and it cascades. As you said, the butterfly effect. One thing changes another, and then so must another, and then another, and then another, and then another. Bits and pieces that made up me, all of them different. We saw how different it can be with the museum, the story, these other versions of me. If one change, no matter how small, happens, how much of me would still be Dr. McGillicuddy? How could I be expected to wish or to make a change with that forever on my mind?
You didn't make a wish. Did he just drop you in here?
I didn't wish for anything. And I can only assume the universe decided I was the worst person in the world and deserved this kind of hell. Though what made it decide that, who can say?
Well, if you ask me, you're not so bad, Doc. I've seen far worse people do less for society. If anything, I just have to call to question the Chaos God's twisted methods of having fun. Maybe you were just a random pick. A spin of the wheel, a bad roll of dice. Maybe he just picked you out because, like everyone else here, you were at a low point. And instead of a promise for something better, gave you a really, really shit hand to play.
Expecting logical reasoning from that chimeric psychopath is folly. Perhaps it doesn't matter what I did. The universe is hardly fair anyway.
Ain't that the truth? I mean, for how much he talks of despising Charlie, he really hasn't been acting any different himself.
I haven't been back long enough to tell.
Well, it hasn't taken long for him to show his true colors. At least it's not going to last for long, right?
At least there's that.
I really didn't want to bring you back into more pain. I hope you know that before we all go and everything.
I know now. For all the good that'll do us. When not swimming through the waters dangerously in search of prey to catch in a death roll and devour, crocodiles spend most of their time on land, basking in the sun, and smiling because they just let out a fart, and they know you're too much of a chicken shit to call them out on it.
Hey, princess. Didn't expect anybody else to come in here.
Oh, goodness. My apologies. I did not mean to startle you. I admit that I did not even notice you standing here amongst all the shelves of stuffed toy animals.
Yeah. Guess most are more likely to see me at the bar. Yeah, no, I just needed to clear my head, and all this stuff reminds me of my kids, so, yeah.
Oh, that's precious. I also needed to clear my head. I suppose the events of these past... Well, with no frame of reference for time, it is hard to tell, but these recent events have been difficult to reconcile.
Understatement of the century, I say.
That and the zoo. It's nice, but I just needed to think. Do you understand?
I think so. The zoo's too loud, can't organize your thoughts as easily. It doesn't help that everything's fake.
Exactly. It feels as if every time I think I understand something, my preconceptions of it are flipped around or retold, or I'm just told that they're wrong.
Oh, I've already long given up my old beliefs, just a long fucking time ago. Back home, we worshipped one true god with a classic good versus evil narrative. Clearly, they aren't the only one, and who's to say a god willing to lie about that isn't willing to lie about how good they are? Or even worse, there's probably just more complexity that I can't even think of, and that just sounds like a hassle.
So you're thinking of your theology too?
Yep.
Goodness. It must have been strange to have come from a culture with only one god like that. The way you're describing it, it sounds so foreign. You know, back in Problem, we had deities in addition to the Black Stars, multiple, so it was easier to understand at first. But we still understood creation to be by the goddess of light, not by the Black Stars. And now there's these gods, or at the very least, these godlike beings, and they're telling me that that wasn't true. Truthfully, I think there must be a level of greater complexity, like you're saying, but how? How could they all be true, or could they all be lying?
See, that's just the thing, is I think they could be. Because the more I'm around these two, the baby god and the primordial being, respectively, the more I'm really questioning just how complex this whole god thing even is. For gods, they aren't very divine or infallible.
I agree. Which makes me then wonder, how do they all become gods anyway? Why do they all have power when they don't even truly care?
I think they just got power. I don't know. Like they just happened to be in that position, and some people got called gods, and others probably called themselves gods, and they all just seem to act like people, but like they're just normal mortals with a wider range of influence. Who's to say we can't become gods ourselves?
Why would you still want to be a god after all this?
Probably to kick the others into shape.
I'm referring to you specifically. Would you want to kick others into shape? I mean, going home, I'm certainly going to look at my goddess of light differently, though I will still believe in her, especially since she has granted me my magic. That's something you can't deny. But though I don't know how you will feel similarly towards your single god, and well, it sounds as if the power is a little tempting for you.
Oh, well, for me personally, if we get back, my heaven will be being with my family again, So once I get that and reach my official end, I can't just ignore what I know now. And at this point, I don't think I'd want to fall into whatever afterlife just some guy made. So I don't know, especially when they've lied to me and to my entire world. Like I don't know. I might as well see what I can do once I'm all spirit and energy. Maybe I can make my own afterlife. I kind of like making anything I can imagine, so it's fun.
I mean, the idea is appealing, to make anything you can think of. Or anything you might need. I mean, even here. If I could make anything with just my memory, I would add animals from Canticus to this zoo.
Like what? I'm not from Canticus, obviously, but you seem human enough. Can't say I can imagine much differences in our worlds.
Well, the environment in Canticus looks different, of course, so our animals have to adapt to certain things. Like how your beaches are tan, but ours are red. One of my favorite animals in the Forest of Providence is a small, hairless creature that makes this most adorable little squeaking sounds. It's about the size of a barn cat, I would say. Oh, and it has the most vicious horns with which it hunts with.
Really? Yeah. Now that I really think about it with that description, that's a hell of a coincidence.
Why is that?
Well, because I think I saw something just a second ago, like real deep in these shelves here. Hold on. Hold on. There it is. Something like this?
Oh my goodness, look at it. It's perfect. How but they don't have it here and you've never seen it. How?
That's narration magic right there. Anything you can imagine. As long as it makes a good story, or a good scene, or a good whatever the fuck any of this is supposed to be. What you say? Think I'd make a good deity?
As long as you would require reasonable sacrifices, and your followers' clothing is fashionable.
Oh, tell you what, alright, that's not really my expertise, but if in my afterlife I get to that point, I'll be sure to reach out for proper fashion advice.
If you get to that point, I'd be glad to help you.
There are only 8 bears that exist in the world at any given time. If you spot any more bears than that at one time, then you have encountered a false bear, which is like a bear, but it's not. Killing one bear will simply spawn another one. You cannot destroy the bears, for the bears are eternal, and the bears are far stronger and faster than you.
Yeah, only earth animal, maybe. Not my fault that you people think platypus is platypi? Man, English plurals are hard. The artist known as Platypus is weird. You are a walking disaster. Awkward's probably one of your secondary baby god domains. See, now you're getting it. Way more convenient than the constant complaints of, but I don't want to be dead. It was. However, it appears I am peering beyond the veil and people cannot hear you.
They can't hear me. That's weird. Unfortunate.
That is weird. Yeah. So how about we go back in time for approximately 30 seconds?
Let's go back in time. Whoa! It figures I'd find you here with the only animal that looks about as weird as you do.
Only earth animal, maybe. And it's not my fault you people think that platypus is... platypi? Man, English plurals are hard. The species known as platypus is weird.
I mean, compared to Black Star's anything, they aren't, but I was mostly trying to come up with a segue that wasn't awkward and didn't ripple time and space.
You are a walking disaster. Awkwardness and rippling time and space are probably your secondary baby god domains.
You know, I don't think I was going to be getting one of those until I finished evolving. So, maybe it's for the best that I don't think I actually have a secondary domain.
See, now you're getting it. Way more convenient than constant complaints of, but I don't want to be dead.
Is that meant to be a Percy impression?
You know anyone else who talks like that in here?
Well, shucks, Mr. C, you're right. That is to say, I'm not about to say you were right about everything, but yes, you were right about some things.
Uh-huh. Care to list which ones you agree with so I can see how deep this denial runs?
You were right that my plan was stupid. And you were right that, obviously the whole taking away people's choice thing was fucked. Which I did know, but I'm very good at denial and I was very deep in the hole. Which you were also right about. So, yeah, and also, yeah, okay, yeah.
You know, that's actually just about the gist of it. Congratulations! I'd say there's hope for you yet, but this is a cosmic horror story, so there really isn't.
Well, I don't know about that. You did just literally rip the cosmic horror out of my chest. I didn't think that was possible, and it was in fact the primary source of my problems.
No, the primary source of your problems would be the river of denial you drowned yourself in. I chose that metaphor on purpose.
Rude and potentially triggering, but I would expect nothing less. But yes, that was a big part of it. Even so, without you, I wouldn't have dealt with it. I would have rather not done so in an incredibly traumatizing way, but, you know, I am now able to feel things other than pain. So that's kind of a big deal, and I should thank you for that.
Okay. Wow. Not snark, who'd have thought?
Yeah, I'm working on it. It turns out not having to put on a big show with my every word is incredibly freeing and also incredibly embarrassing. It's great! So, since I'm doing that, so about your little museum exhibit.
Oh, this is going nowhere good.
I mean, yeah, I'd say experiencing never-ending pain just by existing is in fact nowhere good. It's also something I've gone through and have only recently gotten free of because of you.
It's not great. Yeah, kinda sucks. You're welcome for the freedom, by the way. Hope you enjoy what you wanted to take from people. Kinda figured most of this time would be everyone lining up to whack you like a piñata, but if that's not happening, at least you can get some Dippin' Dots or whatever.
I'm sorry to disappoint you. Genuinely. I'm sure it would be easier for you and everyone else if we went the piñata route. But that's humans for you.
Any species capable of knowing and examining their choices and then choosing the worst option anyway has to be worth something.
Well, I don't think so many of us would be interacting with them and earning their worship if they weren't.
Absolutely fair. Infuriating sometimes, but fair. I mean, you can still love an animal after it takes a dump on your rug.
Or refuses to leave when you tell it to. Look, I've been in your shoes. I did a lot of very stupid, very shitty things in your shoes. And speaking as somebody who also really wanted to kill some gods, doing it by yourself, at least around here, doesn't really work.
I get it! You're trying to Vincent me! You're doing that thing where people swoosh on up to whoever had the latest backstory to be all, hey, buddy, it's okay, and I got your back, just work with / for me. Oh, classic. Oh, 1 second. Hey, Vincent, you're informed now!
Oh, fuck yeah!
I mean, it's not okay. Way to try to sideline this, but this is the whole point. It's not okay. This place eats all good intentions. I get not wanting to take advice from me, since I'm the idiot who got us here, but you're starting to sound a lot like the idiot who got us here.
The idiot who got us here is currently on attempt number 12 to say, hey, just give me back my power. I definitely will use it to work with you and not fuck everybody over in a place that I just admitted doesn't allow for good intentions. Which, sure, I'm fine with the idiot. The idiot is funny. I have no problems with the idiot other than the idiot is a black star. So no, idiot who got us here. Not happening. Here's your punch card for attempts filled out. Enjoy the free Dippin' Dots.
I didn't say I wanted my powers back. I get it. Me having all the power is a bad idea and always will be. But you've got a cast of 12, and speaking from experience, a story works better if you actually work with said cast.
So you're definitely trying to Vincent me. You've got a cast of 12, sure. I was under the impression the cast also had to work together. Or is Doc trying to get eaten by lions good enough for you to say, he's on our side now, this counts?
It doesn't, but we're missing his story, and even if we had it, I'm pretty sure he'd burn the olive branch I offered. So, I may as well start with the person who turns out I actually have a lot in common with.
Uh-huh. And how's that working out?
Well, I get free Dippin' Dots because you made an ass out of you and me, but also you didn't throw me into any water exhibits, so, small victories.
Wow, small victories, cool. So glad that's what makes you happy. Big picture's more important to me, but you do you. I'm sure all your best friends will congratulate you, though. You're doing great at pretending you're one of them, by the way.
Being a half-god has its perks. You're doing great at filling out your own punch card. I hope you like Dippin' Dots. Speaking of which, I'm gonna go get mine. Later.
Tigers are among the stealthiest and most evolved forms of feline. They stalk the jungles of India and have been known to hunt down humans, coming up on them from behind and cornering them, so they have no easy out when trying to sell these humans a tiger poster.
No, it's okay. Oh, well, you're hungry, aren't you? Hey, slow down, slow down.
Junior? Junior!
Grace? Grace!
Oh my goodness! It's been too long. Oh god, I've missed your hugs.
I've missed giving them.
Oh, and I've missed you, and you have different clothes and piercings in your face.
Yeah, I always wanted snake bites, and well, the mall's no Goodwill, but why not? So, new clothes and snake bites, so.
Huh. A peculiar name, but they're a nice touch. I like them.
Thank you. And man, this is great. We're at the zoo.
I know. It's my first time.
Wow. Well, welcome to the giraffes. They're huge, and they eat right out of your hand.
Oh, is that safe? Can I try?
Yeah, sure. Here's the food. Just step up the steps and stick your hand out.
Okay, like this. Junior, it's eating out of my hand.
You must be a real cake eater.
A what? It's not eating cake.
Oh, that's an old 1920s slang. There's a weird speakeasy type novelty store in there, and sometimes I just hang out and read the signs and stuff. And pretend to be a patron. And the bartender. For myself. I've been by myself.
Oh, well, I know, but I thought you just kept getting lost.
Well, yeah, but at some point I admit I kind of stopped looking for you guys. I don't know. I guess I just started thinking about myself a lot. Just hanging around and thinking a lot while I was alone. Is that weird?
I mean, not really. Sometimes I prefer being alone. It helps to clear your head, you know?
I guess I know now. I spent most of my time being awake worried about you guys. And I spent most of my time before getting here worried about other people or trying real hard not to worry about me, so it's been interesting thinking more about me.
Oh, wow. Well, I'm glad you have been. I think you really needed that time.
Yeah, I figured that out in a Build-A-Bear, which is flooded with whiskey now. Vincent?
Vincent.
Figured. Devastating. While I was in there before the great whiskey flood of whatever today is, I realized I only did a few things that were about me. Even all of the Grace Killer stuff was mostly for the greater outcome at the time. Beanie Babies have names and personalities on their tags. I know more about a stuffed bear than I do about me.
That's... So, did you find out more about yourself? If you don't mind me asking.
Actually, yeah. I found out that I actually really like doing work. I mean, yeah, it's tedious, but I was just doing upkeep for fun here. I actually missed having customers. Speaking of, I thought about how I just treat everyone like a customer, and you know, y'all deserve better. And I do too. Sure, I want to help, but people shouldn't treat me badly and I just say okay about it. So that was a thing to figure out. I also realized I could try on as many different me's as I want. I was a goth for like a day, looked good, but it was a lot to manage. There's so much that goes into being a goth, but I'm still just me under all that everything. So I'd say I found a lot.
Junior, that's amazing. The fact you discovered all this in so short a time. It must feel so refreshing, right? I mean, you even look happier.
Really?
Yeah.
I thought it was just the almond blossom face cream I stole from the Bath and Body Works site. I'm joking. I'm joking. It's actually really refreshing. I guess I just needed some time to be by myself.
That's good. That's really good. But, you know, I'll be here when you're ready to come back. You know that.
Thanks. I'll try not to be gone so long next time. Alright, buddy. Okay, I get it. You want more? Yeah, I'll get it for you. Yeah, okay.
Giraffes normally this hungry?
No. But him getting this close means I can pet him, so it's an equal exchange.
Of course. So cute. Well, you do that. I'm going to check out the gift shop before we leave. I'll see you soon. Yeah?
I'll see you soon.
Walruses have a highly advanced form of inter-walrus communication. This helps them a lot to identify each other, because secretly, all walruses are named Paul. This is not humorous to the walruses, who are much more of a Rolling Stones type of animal.
Charlotte? What is it you're doing with those raptors?
Oh, hey, princess. Want to join me in feeding the peacocks?
Oh, we can feed them?
Well, our current host doesn't give a shit about rules, so why should I? They like flower petals and grain. It's very aesthetic.
Well, fair point. And the iridescent color of the birds paired with the flowers does make it very aesthetic. I will join them. But I do hope they do not snap at my gown. The little goats eyed it greedy earlier.
I promise if they try to eat your pretty dress, I'd say I'll shoo them off, but I'm not very threatening.
Yes, I would be careful that they don't bite at your hands.
I deserve it. Hey, I know I apologized before, but, I really should apologize again for the whole void collapsey thing, you know, making you almost fade from existence. Obviously, I had no idea what the fuck I was doing then, or basically ever.
I know. I appreciate it. But I do hope you have learned from that experience to take a moment to perhaps consider the consequences of one's actions before taking them, especially when doing something like that. I am truly lucky to have had the support system I did when it happened, and I do appreciate what you did to help afterwards. Though I am still perhaps not over the pain.
Makes sense. I sure as fuck wouldn't be. Yeah, I don't plan on doing anything like that ever again. I'm clearly not cut out for the whole changing cosmic fate business. Or most business, as it turns out.
That's not true. Just because mortals cannot be gods does not mean you aren't good at anything. I would say you are doing a splendid job at feeding those peacocks.
Oh no, princess, you said cocks. How improper of you.
I what? I'm sorry for offending.
No, you didn't offend me. I'm just being a dumb baby god and making a joke.
Oh,
Can I ask you something? As a, I don't know, ruler isn't the right word. Mortals can't be gods, but I'm here now, so as somebody with a lot of responsibility.
Are you asking me for advice?
Well, of course, why wouldn't I?
It just seems odd to me is all. A godling asking a young princess about what she thinks about responsibility? I feel as if it should be the other way around. but please, do tell me.
Well, what do you do when you've messed shit up with your powers so much that it's like there's nothing you can do to undo it?
Well, it depends on the gravity of your mistake. But no matter what you did, you need to prove the sincerity of your character and your intentions, who you are now rather than who you were then, or what mistake led to everything being messed up. If you can prove to whoever you wronged, assuming it was someone, or perhaps a group of people that it was wronged, or,
Val,
you
I
know-
am in fact talking at least partially about how I hurt you and everyone else. It's okay. You don't need to be polite.
Can you imagine how horribly rude it would be for me to say that?
I mean, it's no ruder than literally everything I've done to you.
That's part of the problem, Charlotte. You cannot expect... No, you cannot want me to treat you with the same cruelty that you treated me with and everyone else. If that's the case, then no one will ever be able to reconcile and meet on amicable terms. You have to prove to us that not only are you our equal rather than our superior, but that you will never do what you have done again. Taking active steps towards helping us, responding to the wishes of those who ask something within your power, all of that builds trust. That is all what I understand from my position.
That makes sense. Well, I certainly wouldn't say I'm superior. Never was, to be honest. But, well, I guess all I can do is try with what I've got. Which is, regrettably, not much at the moment.
When a king is raising the morale of his soldiers in the midst of battle, as he fights along his knights, all he has is his sword. Yet sometimes that sword is... all he has is his word, rather. Yet sometimes that word is enough to win the day. You never know.
You know, that's very true, and I don't have a sword anymore. I do have my word, though. Maybe finishing the story alongside all of you instead of as a narrator is enough. Long as my word's good, anyway. You're very wise, princess.
Am I? I've just read a lot of books.
I mean, I read a lot of books. I was an English major, and I'm still a dumbass. You'll probably fare better than me when you go back home.
I certainly hope so. But there is a revolution to deal with, and at the head of it, Wilhelm, who I know is an intelligent person, but he has been hurt so much by the throne. I've thought a bit about when I may end up home, and each day leading up to the revolution, I plan for differently in some way. Some different way each time to help my home. I can really only pray that I am successful.
Well, you do know a god. Ish.
Does that mean you plan to help me establish successful irrigation methods?
Well, I've learned I'm a little better at co-writing. I'm not about to offer a wish I can't grant, but I owe you whatever I can.
That's the best apology I've heard from you so far.
Thanks, I'm trying. Now, hand me some more grain. That peacock over there is eyeing your dress.
Ah, of course. You said cock.
How improper of me.
The kangaroo is one of the only animals in the world that can headlock, punch, and kick, and will fight dirty with any animal or man it comes across. This is not a quirk of evolution. That's just what Australia does to people.
Hey Ezra, can we talk? I need to ask you about. Oh, those are some tiny seahorses. Are they dancing?
Did you know the seahorses mate for life? Huge, vast oceans or tiny water tanks. They just pick another one and say, "Yep, that's the one." Did you know that?
Wow, that's really something. Are you going to be okay, Ezra? You seem on the verge of tears right now.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm just letting it flow. What can I help you with, Percy?
Right. So I wanted to talk to you about Valencia, rather. You two have been getting really close, haven't you?
Well, it certainly feels like it. Though Vinny has been anything but subtle about it during the games.
Yeah. I guess he has been rather egging you on, hasn't he? Certainly not an easy wingman to work with, I imagine, but hey, that's family for you.
Yeah, that's family. I've figured that this convo was gonna come sometime.
Mhm.
Honestly, I was debating whether or not to have it before CG's whole plan comes together. How close were you two before I came around?
There was definitely a spark between the two of us. I can say at the very least, I certainly felt that the two of us had some kind of a connection. I guess on account of potential struggles moving forward, it probably wouldn't have gone any further than what it became.
Shit. Well, I can't and won't apologize for the feelings I have for her. You know, and I don't regret what's possibly developed between the two of us, because I'm not entirely sure myself. But, I'm sorry if that I got between something.
I'm not asking you to apologize for that, Ezra. Not like you really need to, anyway. Though, I'll be straight with you. The past few times that you and Val have flirted with one another it's been kind of aggressive. Admittedly, it's made me kind of uncomfortable. Though, to be fair to you, it's not exactly like Mr. Reed has made it any easier.
Hey, man, he only does it because he knows how I feel, you know. A little nudge, a long way, that kind of stuff. To be honest with you, I don't want to rush into anything, or really be that forward when it came to this.
Mm-hmm.
I just wanted to be her friend first and see how that went. And that went a lot faster than you know, and now I don't know just how much time we really have, and I'm sorry, I didn't want to make anyone uncomfortable. Though I might have to talk to Uncle Vinny about that. No, you can't keep this animal caged down forever, right?
What, you don't want to be mates for life with the one you love, Ezra? Come on, I thought we were having a little heart-to-heart here.
No, I just mean that, you know, eventually I'll slip. Flirting is in my nature, so it'll happen at some point during these games, however many we have left. So I'm sorry ahead of time. I'll keep it chained, keep it on the down low.
I'd really appreciate that, Ezra. And in turn, I'll try not to take it too personally if that does happen. I figure you weren't really doing it intentionally. At least, not that time.
Which time? Was it a recent time?
Never mind. Don't worry, none. So, So here's a bit of seahorse trivia for you. Did you know that seahorses can change color to hide from their predators?
Huh. I had no idea. Why do you know so much about seahorses?
I mean, why do you?
The California condor exhibits traits that are unique to all other species in birds of prey. If you ask it about any location, it will give you a lengthy guide as to exactly which highways and roads you should go down to get there. It also enjoys announcing to friends and family what gender its eggs are, and then setting wildfires to celebrate.
Okay, Steven, there's something that's been on my mind since Ozzy back there said all the cuts were variations of you.
Well, I could be a variation of them. Multiverse theory's complicated.
Yeah, well, I'm talking to you right now, so for simplicity's sake.
Okay.
Okay, so you're an actor. You said that when you act, you kind of like become that role, like, you know, Stephen Cutter shuts off and you become like Romeo or something.
Shakespeare's trash, but yes.
Theater opinions aside, when you were in the games before, like, okay, I'm gonna assume like Speed Racer, Jeff Goldblum, all that was you, right?
I can only assume, given that the Doctor doesn't seem to have any particular talent for performance.
Right, so, while you're on stage, what's it like sort of embodying the consciousness of a character?
I've heard people talk of it as if one is entering a secondary reality. Really doing what the character is really doing for real. In that moment, Stephen Cutter doesn't exist. Only, for instance, Mr. Goldblum. And if I'm lucky, he goes away at the end of the performance and I am Stephen again.
I see, and are you like consciously aware of the actions you're taking and as that character? How like their thoughts, feelings, and emotions go and whatnot?
Not particularly. For me, it just clicks, and when I realize their thought process, what they do is their choice.
Okay. 'Cause, you know, I'm starting to, like, understand that. Beyond that feeling of going on autopilot, which I've done many times in a halftime show, I'm looking back at some of the things that happened while I was under during those games. It was like, well, you know, I had lost the feeling of who I was. All I knew was that I was PO'd at Charlie, and that sort of manifested in some characters that existed just to torment her. You know, like how I turned into King DDD multiple times.
And this Penguin King, DDD, the role you played, while he was out, none of the choices he made were yours, Miss Bond?
I mean, you know, being unawakened and everything, the only part of me that seemed to be on the surface was the need to poke the god till she gave me what I wanted. Other than that, well, you know, I'm a lesbian and I think I'm loyal, so eloping in a cabin in the woods with a guy named Huge Yakov. It doesn't seem like a particularly Haley thing to do.
Of course. Characters make choices we as people don't agree with. Usually just to advance the plot they're in. Hopefully because those choices make them interesting. I can imagine a penguin in love with a very rich man seemed interesting to whoever was writing.
See, that's the thing that kind of scares me. I never knew how many of the choices I made were my own, or whether they were like figurative puppet strings. As I started, I had some kind of driving force, some sort of consciousness, but how many of the actions I took were really mine?
You seem to be describing my life, Miss Wong. An interesting philosophical question. If the characters make the choice, based on the mindset I made, whose choice is it? Are they at the wheel, or do I just portray them as such to make it easier? I say this, of course, knowing that ever since I got my story, easier has been an impossibility.
Ain't that the truth? You came to us dangling from strings, chattering about their minds or whatever.
People always did say I was a perfect puppet, but I suppose that gives me a rather unique outlook onto this quandary.
What's it like, being told to make every move you make? Oz tells you to do jumping jacks, you do jumping jacks. What's it like being told what kind of person you have to be?
Easier. Because then someone smarter than I am is the one making the choice.
Okay, now, Steven, I need you to understand this junior comparison is not because of the same reason everybody else makes junior comparisons, but he'd really understand how you felt.
For a certain definition of feeling, I imagine so. Again, my perspective on this is rather different from those around me, Miss Wong. Based on everything you've told me, I don't believe you're the type of person who will ask how high when you're told to jump. While I cannot make this claim for every decision your characters have made, whatever was true to you must have gone through them.
So there's always a little part of me in them. I see. Steven, I know Grace has asked something similar along these lines before us, but this is kind of different. Does the idea of choice scare you? Or, like, daunt you in any way?
Choice has been absent from my life for some time. I'm not sure I'd be able to make one.
Yeah, no, I get that. Given what you've been through. You know, having a little structure in your life is a choice too. One can't exist without the other without, completely falling apart this way or that. I don't know how much comfort that'd give you in the long run, Steven, but I do hope your life gets better in that regard. Assuming that we all do get out of here.
Well, assuming so, yes.
And if not, well, count this as an interesting thinking exercise, I guess.
Certainly more philosophy than I've had the chance for in some time. Thank you for that, Miss Wong.
Anytime, Stevie. Now, let's observe these red pandas. Very cute.
Very cute.
The gorilla's Latin name is Gorilla Gorilla Gorilla. The gorilla's Latin squared name is Gorilla 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 Gorilla. The gorilla's Latin cubed name is Gorilla 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 Gorilla.
Oh, Junior, look at this! The fluffiness of the gills, the little teeny hands, the blank stare. According to this sign, this herpetological creature is an axolotl.
Oh, what an adorable little man. Oh, hey, over there. Come look at this one. It's called, a shingleback lizard. It's all pudgy and bumpy.
Oh, they look like little, well, actually quite big eclairs. Such tough armor, too. They would make such wonderful little dragon knights.
Hey, it says they mate for life, too. Val, would you marry a lizard?
Probably. If the lizard proposed.
Does that mean if I got on one knee right now, you'd marry me?
Are you a lizard?
Maybe.
Then maybe. I'm pretty sure a few dragons have married a few princes and princesses in the past, but those marriages are quite controversial.
I mean, I can see why. Isn't a dragon a whole dragon and a person a person? What makes it not weird?
Well, for some people, it is always going to be weird and wrong to them, because after all, a dragon is a dragon, and a person is a person, like you said. But others may view dragons as anywhere from intelligent beings to gods in a mortal form, so the appeal of marriage to a god would be quite high, really. Those who accept the dragons, well, humanity consider them to be more like us than an average skink due to their ability to speak, emote, do magic, and perform logic. There are all sorts of scientists and whatnot, but I believe it is a matter of the heart. Oh, but please do not take this the wrong way, though. I do not intend to actually marry a dragon.
Unfortunate. Sometimes I feel more like a dragon than a human. And I guess you view yourself more like a human, so...
Oh, of course I feel more like a human than I do a dragon, but sometimes there are aspects of my humanity that I feel may be different from others. Like from my friends here. And not just in a sense that I can do magic or anything like that. Junior, my friend, why is it that you view yourself more as a dragon than a human?
Well, dragons are strong and otherworldly. But from what I know, they're always written as the bad guy in the story. They attack the village and kidnap the princess until a good human comes and slays them.
Oh, that is what most people associate them with, yes. But no one is going to come and slay you when you do not continue to rampage. Dragons do not simply decide to stop rampaging. That is more intrinsic to humanity's ability to change. Do you not show this?
Well, okay, sure. I guess I changed. But maybe dragons change all the time and people never ask them. Or maybe they're exactly the same, but they change priorities. I don't know what I'm getting at. I just don't feel like a human because it was easier when I was doing all of that because I thought humans deserved it. But also, the empathy wasn't there for me. It might not seem like it, but empathy is still hard for me. There are things about you all that I don't understand or I just don't feel sad enough about, like when we lost Hugo. So, not only am I big, strong, and otherworldly, I don't think I feel things like a human does. I have a lot of sympathy, I care about you all a lot, but I have trouble empathizing with things people take so personally.
Were you sad when Hugo was gone?
I was okay with all of it, really. It was his decision. But I was sad. I missed him. I've been sad before.
You were sad about it, just as we all were. Everyone responded differently because everyone has different experiences and emotions. Just because you did not experience the exact same ones as us, or because you are big, strong, and otherworldly, that does not mean you're a monster of any sort. Let me ask you a question, Junior. If you do not consider yourself to be human, then what am I?
I always thought human. But, the thing is, you're good. And I used to think humans were only bad, but now I think being human is good. But you are...
I am a product of the Black Stars, just as you are. Does that make me as evil as them, or my father who has devoted himself to them? I would like to think not. And it is not as if I have ever erred in my life. It was my mistakes that led to the death of my best friend's family, to the deaths of many others as a result of a revolution. But that does not make me inhuman. I can never make up for what I have done, but I will try. And I know that what I did was wrong because I am human. One can be mostly human and partly non-human and still be good, like us. Or perhaps one can be entirely human and bad, or some sort of combination of these traits. You see, non-humans can be good or bad as well, such is the case with these animals, who are truly innocent and good at heart, but who we may be interpreted as evil because they may bite when they are scared. I may have spoken too long, and I apologize if I bored you, but what I am trying to say is, there is no rule that defines the laws of good and evil. And Junior, despite what forces may have led you to become the same as me, you are good.
Hey, I didn't come in here for a life lesson, Your Highness. But, as I said before, you're good. The same way all these herps are good. And I guess you think I'm good. Which means you're gonna make a great ruler.
Thank you, Junior.
An elephant never forgets, and an elephant never forgives. An elephant has a very particular set of skills. Skills that make it a nightmare for people like you. For you, there is nothing to do but wait, because eventually, the elephant will find you. And it will. Try to sell you a tiger poster.
Alright, everyone line up by the van!
Okay, everyone, hurry the fuck up. I need to do a head count. Make sure Doc wasn't eaten by the lions like you want it to be. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I see some sad faces. Okay, legit question here. Are some of y'all incapable of happiness? Straight up incapable? Because it's been a whole lot of complaining and depression and philosophy the last couple episodes.
When you're told you're gonna die, and in some cases are already actually depressed, you're gonna cry at least once, Oswald.
I'm not actually sad, but I did realize as we were leaving that we cannot simply go to the zoo as often as we'd like. You know, it'd be nice if it was connected to the mall. And, it's also unfortunate that the animals aren't actually real, and there weren't enough animals from Canticus there, so it just made me a little homesick.
I had fun with the animals.
Me too!
Oh, I did also have fun.
Yes, I'm feeling a little happier. Look, I treated myself. I got this pin badge of a meerkat.
Oh, cute! Does it also say snarky one-liners?
Grace, I think that's from Disneyland. It's Timon saying luau.
I was given a magnifying glass. I don't think it's an official zoo souvenir.
Souvenir.
Come to think of it. Yeah, wait a second. None of the shit in the gift shop has anything to do with the zoo. These are all copyrighted products!
Anything's a souvenir if you want it to be. None of this is real.
The pain is real, Mr. Reed. The pain is real.
Truly, I keep offering you a drink, and you keep not accepting it, so... at this point, you're choosing not to numb yourself.
I'll give it us. At least you ain't the one driving this time.
Anything we can do to help?
Yeah, boo-hoo. I love you too, Doc. Speaking of driving, fun trip's over. Now it's time to go ahead and...
Okay.
Oh, fuck!
Shit!
Okay. Oh, fuck.
And now this again.
Okay. Oh, shit! That happened to me!
Wow, fucking fantastic! Great, we can bond over this.
Okay, Chaz, you're the expert. What's happening?
Fuck, shit, nobody died this episode. Okay, shit, fuck. Vinny, give me your gun.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I'm sure.
Wait, stop!
All right.
Fuck! She just shot herself.
Charlotte?
Did she just...
Yep. What the fuck? Why the fuck? We're leaving the zoo! What the fuck was that? Why the fuck would you do that?
Ow. I mean, I thought it would be obvious. Running this place hurts. Especially when you're not playing by the rules.
Chaz, doesn't this guy hate your guts? Why would you blow your own brains out for him?
Because nobody deserves to be hurt like that.
You people. You fucking people. You never make any sense. If I got ripped apart, you'd have what you wanted, Charlie. You'd have that power back. And then you do this instead. You're insane. All of you.
Oh, this is perfect. Now look who's reaping what he sowed. You really are just like her.
Grace, he's fucking on edge right now. Now is not the time.
Oh, here we go! Grace Garden and all her priorities. What matters to you most in this moment is proving how smart you are, how snarky you are. Well, look where that has you, Grace. Right back here, tangled up in string. I'd ask if you're proud, but you are fucking drowning in your own pride.
Mm-hmm, and how many times are you going to tell me that? I've heard it all before. You're just boring me now.
Shut the fuck up!
Grace, quit pushing it.
Actually, there's an idea. A little callback of sorts. Fuck. Maybe with a twist on the whole drowning thing. Steven, come here.
No.
Yes, sir. I want you to understand this is all because Grace wanted to pretend she was clever. Your throat's now made of leeches.
Oh my fucking god!
Wait, no! No, stop what you're doing! Stop!
By the gods! He's still alive! How could you?
Stop! He didn't do anything! Stop!
Good God, man, are you off your rocker?
Steven, it's gonna be okay. It's gonna be okay, alright? Just hang in there.
Oh, I'm sorry. Are you bothered? Bored? Perhaps? Want to say something else I can make out of this nothing so you can criticize that and say you've seen it all before, maybe? Because trust me, when it comes to pain, my imagination has no fucking limit. Fucking test me, Grace. Fucking test me, and we'll see how much more of your only friend I can break.
You bastard! I'm fucking dead!
Grace, enough. He's a god. Do not enrage him.
My god, Chaos God Grace gets the point! Take the leeches out of Steven!
I'm pretty sure she doesn't get the point, and never will, because that's just her, and that makes her so cool. All that said, since never will's on the table...
Oh, stop!
Here you go. Here you go, Steven.
Easy there.
I'm so sorry, man. You okay?
So, you had some criticism, and you responded with horrifying violence. It's not so easy behind the wheel, is it?
Shut up. Shut the fuck up. You all think you're all so fucking clever, so witty, so incapable of learning your goddamn lesson. Well, that doesn't mean I'm not gonna try. Y'all happy now? Y'all fucking happy that I felt pain and caused pain, huh? Y'all comfortable now that it's what you're used to? All patting yourselves on the back, knowing this was gonna happen all along?
Not particularly happy to be back to this song and dance, no. If you want my theory, personally, and this is nothing against you, I think the void's getting to you. I think it's trying to complete the cycle and you just happen to be on the throne, and I don't think it is working out very well, and I think something needs to be done.
Well, that explains what happened during the Puppet Gold scenario. It's trying to mold you into another one of them.
Oh, what? Let me guess what comes next. There, it's okay. You can all fix it. Just talk about your fucking problems and give up power. Is that what's gonna happen? Golly fucking gee! Therapy sure sounds great right now. Just let me blow you all up first and leave you all to scream on fire in the meantime. That's gonna be the price to pay for fucking mortals trying to force fucking therapy on this. Congratulations all. Go be proud. That Bible you referenced last episode, Haley, I think it mentions something about it coming before the fall. Everyone go back to the fucking mall. Have your fucking kumbaya. I thought this could be fun. I guess I'll have to make my own.